It's about that time. Welcome everyone back to another episode of LANCESCURV. We had some technical difficulties, so this is why the sound is not sounding as rich as it usually does. I just want to know from those who are in the chat room if you can hear me clearly. Just want to make sure because I had realized some mishaps on a technological level that made me know that I couldn't do it through that particular part of particular equipment. All right, so let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear, which from this side I do believe you are, but I'm gonna have to go in and make sure that if I don't get any feedback. So I'm gonna give you a minute. Just let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna type this in the chat room. Okay. Yesterday was a little bit of fire. I'm gonna bring it back. I had some things going on here on the home front with the projects that we're doing. So let me see. Can you hear me? Please let me know. Can you hear me? It's a bit weird right now because I don't know if my settings are proper as it should be. Let me go and check out my microphone and all this other stuff and make sure everything is good. Let me see. Go to my settings. Audio. No, I think it's coming through clear. Okay. Well, nonetheless, I'm going to have to move forward. I'm not getting any feedback. Come on, y'all. Let me know if you can hear me. We have to change this. Let me see. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, now if you can't hear me, I'm not going to do a show. A little feedback over here. All right, let me know if you can hear me. Come on, y'all. 14 people in here watching the show. I put it in the chat room. Let me know if you can hear me. Please, all I ask is for a little feedback. Okay, thank you, Ms. D. Nice. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being so gracious. Move your finger, let me know. Let me know. Okay, for some reason you cannot hear me, just let me know. Okay, thank you, Chad. Thank you so much. How you been? Super black. I guess there was a delay because I'm freaking out. Like, wait a second. You know, I know it's really early over there, but like I said, I guess everybody's up and early. There's 5-hour difference between the East Coast and West Africa here in Ghana. So I know it's a little early over there. You know, it's got to be what now, like 6:07, which is cool because every time I wake up, which for me, it's 11:07. So this is not the early morning for me. I was up quite late. And it may be a different vibe right now because I'm still in the same mood that I was in yesterday when I spoke, but this is part 2. But you know, sometimes the moods change, so this may be a little more laid back. But of course, the topic is avoid all toxic black people and trash culture if you desire true peace of mind and success. And some people, like I mentioned before, that we can remove the word black because we can say that it's people of all races. And just like I said yesterday, yes, it is. But when it comes to, you know, the press will say black on black crime. They never say white on white crime, right? But the way black people do black people, I'm not even saying in the crime type of sense, because you kill where you live, you do crime to people where you live. But collectively, we should know that after all we've been through, why are we so against each other? Why are we so toxic toward each other? This is a special case. This is a special scenario. This is a special situation. Because while all races have their infighting, many have a modicum of pride that you keep your fighting in-house, your disputes in-house. But we have a way of not caring that we want to tear each other down to the bone. I have never seen so much. I'll say it this way, and let me explain. I'm not going to say, okay, it's a bit of an echo. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Let me know. I need to maybe change this setting over. Now, if I blank out for like 15, 20 seconds and you don't hear me, then let me know. I'm going to count to 20. And if at any part those numbers blank out, let me know. Let me know, because I'm going to change the setting. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, listen, I'm gonna stop it right there. You heard those numbers. Still hear me? Still, you can still hear me. You can still hear me. Then I'll move forward. But I do hear an echo here, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck. Can't use a speakerphone. Can't use a speakerphone. That's gonna echo. Sure. Everything here worked so fine before. And thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know. So I guess you still hear it. I may have to move away from this phone where I have it set. Let me just put it over here on the other side. Just give me constant feedback. If it's still echoing, it's something I know I might not be doing anything with it. Some reason. Let's step away from this. Let's see. Should be back in. Let's see if that made a difference. Let's see. Okay, I actually fell off and came back. So if you hear me later, that happened on the stage. Let me know if it's still good. Okay. I'm gonna go away from this a little bit. Let's see. So these are things that I had all set already, but oh man, let's cut this out. Okay, let me cut this off. Maybe that may have had a hand in it somehow. Yeah, I think it did. It should, the echo should be going right now. It should be. It should be. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. Just continue to give me the feedback. You're not bugging me. I just want to make sure the audio is good. And I know it's early in the morning over there on the East Coast, and really I focus on America, but especially the East Coast, because that's what helped me to build a little bit of following. But I love all my peeps, no matter what time zone they're in. Over here in Accra, over here in West Africa, there's no daylight savings time, so everything stays the same. So I have to adjust when I do the shows according to what time I want to show over there. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm going to continue on. Any sound disparities, just please let me know. But the low-key, very lethal, venomous hate that we levy on each other is sick. It's sick. And you know, I'm going to just correct that. No, I'm not going to say it's sick. Too many times we say that a person is sick when they're in a situation where they're just damn evil. It's evil. It's evil. It's not sick. See, when you're sick, you can't help yourself. This is something that happened to you from the external. And of course, we know things were done to us in the external. But we can choose to heal. We can be conscious of what has happened to us. I'm not going to really, right now, yeah, I'm going through major changes from within. Not major changes like, well, what is he talking about? Is he sick? Is he going through? No, I'm not going through anything major like that. You know, just the normal day-to-day stuff. But the changes I'm going through is that I'm seeing things a lot different. I never changed my mind on anything. I'm seeing it a lot different. And many of us here, and many that I know I'm not saying you're afraid to speak out, no, but it's something that you hold on to and say, wait a second, let me see if what I'm seeing here is correct. And what is that? The fact that we can't blame anybody else anymore. Too many of us are just damn evil toward each other, and we choose to be evil. You know, I learned many years ago that the face can make thousands of expressions, that we can pick up exactly what a person is feeling and thinking, not exactly the way they're thinking, but when you have a baby who can't speak, of course, a newborn baby, when they get to the point of seeing their mother, seeing their father, whoever it is that's raising them, it may not be the mother and father, situations are different. But the bottom line, the baby can only go on what they see in the face of that person taking care of them, or the face of that person who's holding them. We all know the brain is a very powerful thing. And that at the end of the day, the baby can read thousands of expressions. So this is why I chose this banner. And I have to say it again because maybe you weren't here yesterday. I don't know these women. I can't throw off and say anything about them that I know, because that would be wrong. But the thing is, we, as Black people, transplanted Africans, whatever you want to call yourself, there's a whole planet is Africa. It was a time others were not here. So we're all the same, no matter where we find ourselves. Let me just tell you something, stick this in. If you live on the east side of town, whatever city you live in, whatever town you live in, and your family grew up on the east side of town, and now you get older and move over to the west, are you not still related? Are you not still the same? So stop the divisive foolishness. We're sitting here in a world today where we can be snuffed out within minutes, and we're worried about what we call ourselves. And it's too stupid right now. Do you cross the street and realize that the car is coming at you in extreme speed? You say, well, let me just start to write my laundry list. No, your feet start moving, you get into a panic, and you want to get out of there. So we are in a place right now in a world where and I've said it, it's not my fight. What's going on in the world today is not our fight. We didn't cause this mess. Our disputes don't involve nuclear warheads. Our disputes don't involve bio weaponry. Our disputes don't cause cyber crimes and cyber attacks. And don't sleep on those cyber attacks, because a nuclear bomb may not be the worst thing that can happen. You get your electrical grid shut down, you're in a plane, and all of a sudden the landing technology, they communicate between the tower and the plane, you can't, so what do? All water can be compromised. All of that stuff can happen. But we sit here and we focus on the BS between each other from some stuff that happened back in 1943, or maybe not 1943, because most of us weren't alive in 1943. Some of us were. 10 years ago, I chose this banner because to me, in my Black experience, when I see a face like that, I register it as the lady sitting on the porch gossiping with the lady sitting next to her. I'm sorry, they can be really nice people. Maybe they never gossip in their life, but I have to go on the visuals to paint a picture. So I know where I'm coming from. See? Nothing's to throw off on the other set of young ladies, but you know, this lady here on the right side, like I said yesterday, you can talk to her and she's nice, and we're talking the theoreticals, not saying exactly. So don't get in the comment section later on and go, well, you don't know her. There's some of us here that are slow, y'all. And this is why sometimes, and I say this in a condescending way, some of us black people, when you explain something to them, you got to be in retard mode. But if somebody else can say something real quick, they get it. You ever talk to somebody and they refuse to understand? You explain a situation where a rock can understand it. And they sit there, and you know they understand it, but they want to give you a difficult time. And they're looking at you in a way like, I'm going to give you a difficult time. I'm going to refuse to understand this. This could be on a job, customer service with the public. They know you on your job, and they want to twist your arm to make the situation. You ever deal with somebody who they're hell bent on the inside to have an argument with you, and you're not even doing anything funny to them. You're not even treating them a funny way, but you see it. Oh yeah, you try to cause some kind of confusion. Well, this is the kind of lady that an expression on her face, like I said, as soon as you leave, they greet you all nice, and as soon as you get out of earshot, Shirley, you know, she thinks she hot stuff now that she got that man loving up on her, but she don't know. I saw him coming out the hotel room with another woman 3 nights ago. What the hell were you doing around the hotel that time? You know, Grammys get their groove on too. But what I'm saying is that you get a compliment on the surface, but deep down, we got this venom toward each other. We were always looking for something wrong. You can't just look past the little thing. You always got to nitpick. And I'm talking to black people. You can't say black. I'm indigenous. I'm FBA. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Play and pretend. Negroes in drag. Why do I say that? Because, well, we may throw off on a big linebacker looking dude in Adam's apple and big size 13 pumps and say, oh, he delusional. He might be delusional. He might be hanging down to his knee under the dress. In his mind, he can be a woman. And he's not. But you can't throw off that. I'm not even defending them. You know that's not my fight by a long shot. But check this out. We ain't no different. We sitting here fighting over where we think our origin is. Well, your origin is planet Africa. How about that? That shuts it down. So don't come to me with that foolishness. We got bombs that might jump off. We got chemical warfare that might jump off. And yes, we're not the cause of it. And we can say we didn't start the fight, but we need to be getting together and pooling our resources so that we, like others who are getting together to protect themselves in this unstable world, we taking on, what is it, $1 trillion? I remember it was up to so many $1 billion of spending power that we have in America alone, and the number keeps going up. They say if we were a country by our spending power, at last I heard it was we would be the 16th most powerful country in the world. Do you know what that means? Now I know that things fluctuate, little countries are being born and things change, the number goes up and goes down. But maybe I'm wrong, and correct me on this if you know better. I'm going to ask for your help. But I heard at last count that there were over 200 countries in the world. See, every country is not as big as America or big as Russia or big, but you have little countries out there. But it's not about the size. The point that I'm trying to make is that black people in America, the money that you spend, I don't know how that money is allocated. I'm not going to break that down. I'm talking overall. You're waking up. Some of your wiping out your eye, brushing your teeth, sitting on the toilet, whatever it may be. This is a general statistic. If, and I'm saying if, there were 204 countries in the world, number 16 is up near the top. That's top 20. So you mean it's 16, and there are 204 countries in the world. Maybe I'm wrong. 202, maybe it's up to 199. So that means there are 204 There's 188 countries behind us as far as spending power. So you mean if all of us decided to get together and go to a smaller, weaker country, right? Then we can dominate. And we all, I know I'm fantasizing right now, right? This is racial unity born I'm talking about. I'm fantasizing. I'm mentally masturbating right now. It's something that is not real, but in my mind, I'm going to say it real right now. And I'm going to have a mindgasm, because if this can happen, how mighty we would be. If we can physically all migrate to a country, right, that's going to be near the equator, because that's where we belong, right? And go there with more money. It's not that simple now, right? I'm just making this up. And we would be the 16th most powerful country in the world. Do you know what that means? That if we pool all of our resources, not just financially, but all of our talents that we have, that we support everybody else's system. You tell me, any area of expertise in this world, no matter what the country, where it is. I don't care if you go to the North Pole, the South Pole. I don't care if it's launching a missile or a spaceship. I don't care if it's going down to the depths of the ocean. Whatever area of expertise there is in the world, we are there. Now they make some stuff up for time where we're not there. When you give it time, we're going to be there. And guess what? We are going to master that area of expertise. But yes, you're right. Mike Fuller. I know you use the number 1 for the I, but I'm just going to say Mike Fuller because that's what it means. You're right. We put this on the screen. Black people are teenage minded. Teenage minded. Yes, rap music is teenage things. I'm gonna focus on what I'm saying, but that kind of stuck out. Yeah, I'm gonna also say what I see here. I'm not gonna really be. Is there still an echo? Let me know, because I'm in a really big room right now. Black people are very toxic. That's why there's so much interracial dating amongst the groups, because they don't get along. And if we can move in a cohesive manner, oh my God, pull all our money together. Realize we don't have no friends. You laying with that woman that don't look like you, brother. What you expect to get from her? How are you gonna put a Toyota engine in a Rolls Royce and expect it to work? You can put adapters and make things work, but it's artificial. Look, I'm out here in West Africa, and our sisters in America are beautiful. But because when you go out to the country areas, so because you got people that don't take care of themselves. But if you were to see the naturally beautiful sisters that are out here, inside and out, and by no means put down. And I want to explain, I'm gonna get right back on point. Because now I'm in red mode. Anything's not gonna come out of my mouth right now. And I wasn't really feeling the same energy when I woke up this morning. You know, there are people that I know that are down, I talk with them. I got into that zone, you know. I got into that Sunday afternoon drive zone. Not the I'm racing this dude and it's on a straightaway. He ain't gonna pass the type thing, you know. But I'm really coming back to that. And I'm not putting my motherland sisters over anybody anywhere else. I'm not a passport bro. I'm into the sisters. But there's some sisters here who, just like that collectible superhero that many of us put up on a shelf, those who collect. If you don't do it, you know somebody who does. And it's in the box too, and it's going to be worth something. They're protected from the dust on the outside. They're protected from the oil from your hands. And as a collectible, it's cool to keep it in the box, the original box. So 10, 15 years from now, when you look to sell it or auction it off, it's worth something. Okay, there's an echo. What the heck is up with this echo? You know what I might do? I might go straight into the phone. I think that would take, because I have a microphone. Yeah.
I mean, is it faded with the echo? Does it sound low with the echo, or is it sounding strong with an echo? That tells me a whole lot. Because maybe this thing is not pushed in all the way as it should be. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna try one last attempt. I'm gonna have to take the case off of this phone so this thing can push in deeper. And I'm thinking that's what it is. I gotta be very careful not to touch the screen. And I'm gonna take this thing out so you can still hear me, but it's gonna be a different sound right now. It may sound a little flatter. Take, you know, this case is like these dudes are wearing skinny jeans, man. It's a tight behind case. Okay, let me see what's happening here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, tell me, is the echo is better? Okay, I think I know what it is. Now I'm gonna put this microphone back in and let me know if the echo continues, and if it does, I'm gonna pull it right on out. I'm gonna pull it right on out. Okay. Okay, this should make it better. How does it sound now? Is the echo back? If the echo is back, I know to pull this thing out, because I actually dropped this mic. It was very expensive. Oh well, that's the price of doing it. It's clear now. Okay. Is it really, really clear with no echo now? Okay, good. You know what it was? This thing wasn't pushed in all the way because this is a thick phone case that I have. And I'm doing the show through the phone because there's some connection issue from my module, my audio module, and my really nice mic going into the computer. So I found this out like 90 seconds before. I was like, whoop, I better disconnect these wires and get to the phone. So good. Thank you for bearing with me. You know, some people say, oh, saying all that stuff is not professional. Well, I'm not really a professional. I'm just a regular dude who just wants to say a few things. I have some gadgets that I bought over the years to make things better, but I'm not trying to push off like I'm some great whatever. I'm just LANCESCURV, the dude you met on the bus stop, the dude that you met in the doctor's waiting office or the Walmart checkout line, and you just kind of get into what I'm saying. Okay, just let me know if there's any, I'm glad it's so much better now. Just let me know if there's any changes in the sound. I depend on you for that because I can't hear anything. I don't have any headphones with this thing. And this phone that I have is a Droid phone, and there's only one USB-C connector. You can't like stick it in one thing and speak into it and have the headphones. Headphones are too expensive. I ain't gonna do that. You know, the donations y'all share with me, I'm not gonna waste it. I'm still very frugal and keep it where it is. But anyway, imagine if we can get it right. Do you know how fast America, the United States of America, whatever you want to call it, America with 3 Ks, do you know how fast they would feel our loss? Meaning that not that we have a loss, but they're leaving. We're bringing all of our money, we're bringing all of our talent somewhere else. And I'm not saying that it has to be a different country, but where is their land open and who's going to buy it from, right? So if we went somewhere else and worked with that country and borrow money there and our expertise there and our revolutionary spirit to not be taken advantage of, right? How nice would that be? And I'm going to kind of stay away from that now that I got to this point. And I'm not promoting anything that you may not want to do. There's no interest in that. I'm cool where I am. I do miss my people, the everyday seeing of them that I know in America. And it makes it so much easier to, on that part of living, to be here away from those who I love, that, like my good friend that I grew up with. He sent me a message. I sent it to him back. And we can constantly keep in touch with each other, but it's not nothing like sitting across the table eating dinner with the person or the people that you love and you grew up with. But imagine, right? I moved out here. It took a lot for me to move out here because we're moving into the unknown, no matter how much you research and how much you study. But I'm like one of the dudes who are explorers, and you go into a different place and you know your work, you know what you have within yourself. I'm completely confident that I have a will to survive no matter where you put me. But I saw certain advantages. But with that came the pain of change. And so when people ask me, they say, Lance, right? I mean,
Don't you miss going to a Walmart late at night? Don't you miss this or miss that? You know, those are African people, and we come from the same group, but we're a different branch from them. They speak in a different language. You don't know nobody over there really, and all of that stuff, right? But the bottom line is, imagine. See, so a lot of folks will say, well, I ain't gonna go. I got my family's here. My job. Imagine you can have all of that here. Imagine all of your family, your job, or what you build here as a job, whether it's a career or some industry you're in. If you can scoop up everything and transplant everything somewhere else where the country's beautiful, and the government you work along with, and you bring your money, and you build your communities, and you cash out, and you still get your pension, if you have one, and all your, and I'm saying this to you here, I'm not calling grown men boys, but all your boys that you had growing up, all your girls and sisters that you grew up with, y'all still the same exact way, and leave America. Wouldn't that be nice? We have the money to do it, but we won't do it. And we don't have to do it. You can stay where you are. I'm not saying just leave. Because I have no problem with America. I got a problem with the government and the system and those who will stay off of our backsides with their inferior mentality and their jealousy and their inferiority complexes. Fighting hard to keep us from knowing who we are. Because if we know who we are, we would do the bull crap we do to each other, hating on each other, backstabbing each other, gossiping about each other. All the energy is in the wrong place. That if we were to focus our energy on the right things, your answers would be given to the church, hoping for something that's probably not going to come to you. Let's just say the word Jesus. I'm saying it as a word. You in the church, Jesus, Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on toes. If you want to unsubscribe, go ahead. YouTube is doing a good job of taking people away from me anyway. This channel is for subscribers, sink shit, donations, sink shit. I don't care. I'm a little heck out. I got a lot of juice in my fruit. I know I'm getting older. So when I say this, I don't really believe it away, but I'm 60 and I'm older. And some people I'm an old man, but I'm going to embrace being in the old man phase of my life. That old man who may be an uncle, who may be a cousin, maybe somebody in the family, when they come to the barbecue, they don't hold back. They don't even give a damn how they match up with their clothes. That's going to be dangerous. They do got a whole lot of shirt on and straight pants with orange shoes on. That's the way we're going to watch out for him, because he knows family secrets. He knows how dysfunctional the family is. And when he comes to the barbecue, in the back, they're sitting up there and notice that one dude, he'll strategically sit himself in the place where he can see everybody. And he can say nothing. You say something to him, he waited out. He puts a little bit of a few tricks inside of him. And here you go. And there's always that next family that shows up that pisses him off. Now he's messed up in the head. Now he started saying stuff about that dude under his breath, and that was while under his breath no more. Hey, yeah, see him over there, always leaving his house and driving by the school, trying to pick up them girls from middle school. It would have been better. Some of the girls graduating from high school, be over there trying to pick up these young girls. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What you mean? What you did to me back in 1979? Is that block party? They never gonna live down. Yeah, look at that. Oh, you got a little basic boys today. I saw you at the mall. I turned around, I thought it was a girl behind me. Yeah, we all know what them boys you hang with. That's the reason why you ain't with no woman. You know, that old dude at the barbecue, he don't hold back. I know you're broke, and I know you need money. I know you can't pay your rent this month, and you can ask it around. But that $2 I gave you 15 years ago, you can't ask me for nothing. It's crazy. And look at this. I want to say something. I want to say something here. Let me know if this is echo, because I'll pull it a bad way out. When I talk to most young people nowadays, the millennials, Generation Z,
and they say they'd rather date and marry other races and deal with other blacks in the black community nowadays. And that is so sad. The toxicity has been inherited to the point where they see what goes on in our families. They see what goes on in our community, and they don't want to be bothered with it. Do you blame them? I'm not condoning that. I'm all for nation building and staying within our own race. Yes, I am. But really, when you dig deep, and they see how whole families, from birth to death, because if you don't carry an ascendant spirit, you die. So when you carnal and slipped around like a pig in the mud, you need to fear death. When you're of a higher spirit and a higher vibration, you will ascend. The afterworld, the afterlife don't want your bullshit. Oh, come on into the pearly gates. You think that's the way it is. But you're gonna have to let go of the toxic cargo that you have in this life if you're gonna ascend. Simple as that. We're very spiritual people, and we can feel it. We know. You ain't taking this crap to the afterlife. No, you're not bringing it. And you're gonna stay right here. Oh, it's echoing? Okay. I know what to do. We're gonna take this whole thing out. Right, we're gonna make sure. Now it has to be clear now. Okay, there's something going on with that mic. Okay, let me know how it is. Let me know how it is right now. So something's wrong with it now. Oh, yo, I can hear it echoing. Hold on. I gotta change the setting. Hold on, I'm getting feedback. I can hear it. I'm gonna change up this setting and put it default. Okay. This should do it. Okay, let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fetty, thumbs up. Good. This is a damn shame. This mic better not be messing up on me. I've been wanting to pair these mics for the longest. You know, they can go anywhere, any camera, any phone, because I'm big into having quality audio. It pisses me off if the audio can't be. You get the best video in the world, the audio's jacked up, it just takes away. You know? Okay, it's much better. Good, good. It's not going to have an enhanced sound, but I'm just going to have to keep my mouth close to this thing, you know? It is what it is. I have time to tinker around with it later on. But yeah, like you were saying, they'd rather date and marry other races. Why is that? Because they know, you know, what's really going on. I wish I could leave America, but they make it so hard to get out of this horrible place. Some of us really won't get out, but this whole system is rigged for you to be locked up in a prison. And really and truly, it's a prison planet. You know, I haven't really, in one sense, gotten away from anything. I just got to a better place. Meaning that if a person comes in the door to shoot up a whole restaurant, I'm sitting next to the door. He's not looking at me first. He's looking at the whole restaurant. Hey, sorry to say it that way. So when he steps in and pulls out the machine gun, I'm running out the door. I'm not deep in the place. But everything that happens in the world will eventually come here. And where I am, I'm going to have to move out deeper. I have to go out somewhere where there's no internet signal. I have to give that up. They use these things to control us. I might have to record and record some stuff and go somewhere miles away and upload it once a week. I was listening to Jesse Ventura, saying his name all wrong. You know, he was in the Predator. You know, he's a wrestler. He was a politician at one point, but he wasn't really a politician, like a typical politician. And I like the things that he says because he's very patriotic, but he is not for this system in America. And he moved out to Mexico, right? And he's living off the grid. He's many, many miles away from pavement or electricity. He only communicates over Skype. Of course, he has solar power. And when a man who knows what he knows
And I believe he was a Navy SEAL at one point. So he's been the whole way of the traditional way of let's go into the military, and he's turned on it. He's turned on it because he knows the system. Okay, thank you so much, reigning woman. Thank you so much. I don't know what's going on with those mics. But anyway, I'll figure it out another time. That's a lot of money down the drain if they're messed up. But anyway, for a man to be so much in the system at one point, believing in it and giving his life to it, and to come out of it, not to knock America or the people, because I'm quite sure he didn't have to deal with racism. That tells you a lot, that he sees things and knows things. For him to leave and go to Mexico, so many miles away from everybody, they grow their own food, they're off the grid. Generators and stuff, I mean, it's still things you got to use, but what does he know? What does he know? And many of these politicians that are getting their little underground bunkers and these CEOs of companies that are stepping down, why are they stepping down? And buying up what they need? Because they know the money's not going to be good soon. The bank is not going to be good soon. So you need to go somewhere where you can extend the comfort in your life and being able to sustain yourself away from depending on a supermarket that might be empty. I've always said this. But we as Black people, toxic Black people, worried about why the person next door bought a brand new vehicle because the job they work, they can't afford it. Trying to figure out how the lady across the street around the corner got 5 babies that you never saw no man. It's none of your damn business. We're focused on the wrong things. And like I said, it's not like they told us that if you took all your money as Black people in America, you'd be the 203rd most powerful country out of 204. And we know we got some poor countries in the world. And usually the reason why they're poor is because someone else came and took the resources and dominates them and holds them down so they can be rich. And we know certain countries that we know pretty much are down on the lower end of that spectrum. Usually, we're the ones that inhabit those countries. So this is why they have Memorandum 46 that keep us away as Black people in America who are hip and wise, some of us, not all of us, from connecting with the resources. Okay, what happened here now? I touched the phone by mistake. And this thing is too sensitive. This is. I touched the phone by mistake. Fell out for a second. I got to these
Screens are so daggone sensitive. I mean, and here I am echoing again. I can hear it now. What the heck is going on with the show today? Let me go into the settings again. Audio, default. All right. It was good that time. I just heard some echo. Everything messed up.
The show goes on. Even if I have to record myself and put it up, but I noticed a lot of weird things happening with shows and stuff. So, okay, I'm back. I'm scared to hold the phone. I'll hold them, I touch it the wrong way. You ever have your phone in your pocket?
I'm echoing again. What the hell is going on? Okay. I'm good? Okay. I don't know why I'm hearing the echo. I'm in a very big room right now. But you have your phone, you're not touching it. Do you hear this echo? Betty? Why am I hearing the echo through the phone? Oh, you hear the echo? I don't like this at all. Because I got the volume turned all the way down. I have to check another setting. Sorry, y'all. I'll just make the show longer. I'll just make it long. We go to settings, audio, Okay, let's just see. It has echo cancellation. We take this off. Mic volume. We turn it up. Still got something going on here. Headset, earpiece, which I don't have. Speakerphone, I don't want to go there. I'll leave it as it is. Let me just hear. The feedback sucks. This is weird what's happening today. I'm gonna really have to investigate what's going on. Okay. It's echoing. Okay. I don't hear it anymore like I did right now. Okay, I'm putting this phone down. I'm not touching this phone. Now I hear the echo again. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Well, if you don't hear it as good, then we good. I'm not touching this phone. If it's good for you, I hear a little echo, but if it's good for you, it's good for me. As long as you all are all right. Let me just see what it really is. I did not know what, I mean, there's nothing connected to this phone. It should just be good as it is. But I'm going to continue on. And this is distracting me. Okay, it's better? Okay, good. I don't want to put my hand, I'm going to put this up on a stand so it's close to my face. That's all. I have it flat on the table. We'll rock this way. So if it's a ghost in the phone or something doing to mess with it, then it is what it is. I will charge this up a little bit. Yes, so this being said, if we were to pool our resources together, we would be so powerful. But it's our evil antics against each other, and of course, the self-hate that was taught to us and beat into us. Yes, I can blame that external, but we're running with it now. And we're too dumb to see that we're running with it now. That one who put it in us is sitting to the side, sipping on a cold glass of lemonade, snacking on something, saying, hey, we did a wonderful job. We don't have to worry about them anymore being a threat to our stronghold over the planet. And they will thank us for doing so because they don't have the mind, the focus, the drive to want to do anything else because they believe that we are the gods. Because through religion, we have convinced them of that. For them to look at something or for something externally outside of themselves. So they're looking up, but everything is right here underfoot in the earth and inside of them. But they're looking for it somewhere else. One night I was so tired and I lost my glasses. I usually wear glasses and I got to get another pair of glasses, but I do well without them and my eyes are pretty good now. Maybe because I'm in a natural environment. But I was so tired this night, and if you notice, I used to have the glasses on my head, on top of my head. You know, you flip them up and you still have it behind your ears. And it hit me. I was like, I had a moment. I was like, where are my glasses? I can't find my glasses. I tore the whole house up looking for my glasses. And I happened to be standing in front of a mirror. And I looked in the mirror and saw the glasses on my head. There was nobody in the house. And I just had to look at myself in the eye and ask myself, how stupid can you be? Now, I know I'm not stupid, but distracted. And so many of us are walking around in that state of mind, distracted, caught up in everything else, more so than the things that we should feel is important. Because, and I always say it, and I'm not putting any race above us, but whenever you have countries that get a hold of technology, they get spies to go over the other ones to find out what they're doing. I'm not really into the whole car thing in America, but I used to love to read Motor Trend magazine and Car and Driver every now and then. If you don't know, back in the day, growing up, I used to love to go to Manhattan, and they had the big newsstands, and they had the magazines fresh off the press.
I even love the smell of it. So I always got bodybuilder magazines, boxing magazines, because I was always into bodybuilding, of course, back then, and boxing, which I still love it now, right? And then I would always get, and I would go out there and buy like sometimes 10, 15, and sometimes 20 magazines and spend my little hard-earned money on that because I love to read. But I would also get something to read that was out of my core interest, because I know that I couldn't stay in one thing, right? And grow. The same as the equivalent of you have your comfort zone, but it's our comfort zone that kills us off the most. Because we don't want to go outside and be a little uncomfortable, but it's being a little uncomfortable that helps to expand you and grow your mind and see the world more in a more expanded way, and it will pull you away from petty stuff. Many of us here have traveled to different parts of the world. You don't have to leave the country to get this feeling, but when you do leave the country and you come back to where you live, you're looking at that place different because of what you now know from before. Come on, y'all. It could have been when you're a teenager. Hopefully it wasn't some single-digit age foolishness, but the first time you have an orgasm, and say you're a teenager, and you got to come home to where your parents are, right? And you go out there and you mess around and you deal and you do what you have to do. You know what I'm talking about. And you sitting around the dinner table, you have new knowledge. You start looking at your parents different. Like, they did that? I can't see them doing that. You look at them different because now you have an expanded experience beyond the norm. And now what was normal, you have to adjust it to something else. Come on, y'all, let me give you one more example. Say you grew up in the neighborhood. Say you grew up in a house. And even if you didn't grow up in a house, you had friends who had a house. You're a young teenager. And you move out of that city. And you don't go back for quite a long time. You might have lived there when you were a single-digit ages, a tween or a teen, and now you're 40. And you go back. And you say, I'm not here. My family don't own that house no more. But let me drive down that street where I used to grow up. I know everybody moved away. Some people died. Maybe there might be one person. You always find that one person like, damn, they look old now. And that's all that's there. You talk to them and they tell you all the changes that went on in that neighborhood. And guess what? You see the house that you grew up in, that either you grew up in it or it might have been a friend's house. Don't that house look small? Don't it look tiny? The whole world in front of that house when you were much younger was your universe. It was your world. But as you got older, you know, you had to stay in the backyard at one point. You had to stay in the front yard. And then you were allowed to ride your tricycle maybe when your parents were outside down the sidewalk, but only but for so far. Then you got a bicycle. Then you got older. Then you were allowed to ride in the street. Now you're going around the corner 4 or 5 blocks away. You getting around on your bicycle. Then you get a car. Then you start traveling. You go to school. Maybe you go to school in a different state. Maybe you go with friends on a cruise, or you start to expand your world. Black people have become so stagnant that how can we require greatness out of them when their mind is so narrow-minded, limited. They worry about petty-ass gossip. And even when you have a limited mind and you move somewhere else, you bring those limitations of your thinking to where you move now. So you can leave America all you want. You can leave Canada all you want. You can leave Jamaica all you want. You can leave Costa Rica. You can leave all you want. But if you bring a limited mindset with you, you are still going to be shackled and handcuffed mentally. And you won't be able to do anything anymore because you can't blame the system then. You're physically free, but your mind is still trapped on the BS, the toxic BS that you always had that you didn't take a purge from. You can tell somebody who's eating bad when they pass gas, man, even the roaches die. It's like, yo, bro, you stink. You should try to open up your own exterminating company because you done killed the roaches all through the house, fumigating with the contents of your toxic guts. But that's how we are in our spirit. And we bring those limitations, and we can't blame anybody anymore because we find the same situation and we could be on the other side of the damn world. And if you are like that, I do not deal with you. If I sense and see that you had them limitations somewhere else, and now you acted nice with me, but it's only a matter of time before your mental limitations take hold in my life that I opened up to you. No. No. Let's just say a dude sees a chick in the club and she's sexy looking and she's booming out all over the place. And some dude says, oh, listen, man, you know, she cool and everything. You can hang out with her, but you know she got HIV. I'm not trying to throw off on anybody who has HIV. Understand that. But this is reality. All of a sudden, that desire, it dries up. He looks at it and say, oh, my God, her looking good was a trap. Not that she's trying to trap you. She might have been kind enough to say, listen, this is the condition I'm in. If you want to date, hold hands, or if we go a little further, we got to strap it up. Forget condoms. We need a hefty bag, right? Why is it that you can, let's just keep it in America. Let's just make this up to prove a point. Why is it that you can have, look, we all know that family that has the alcoholic uncle. The alcoholic uncle. A lot of us have issues with alcoholism. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody, but I'm just talking it like it is. Whether it's in your family, whether it's in the family down the block, or somebody in your circle, there's always that alcoholic uncle that don't do nothing, but he always has money for alcohol. He might get a little piece of a check. He might have been in the military for a couple of years, but he's living with his folks because he can't afford to live on his own, but he's the alcoholic uncle. And the alcoholic uncle has a purpose because he's cool other than that he drinks, but it's convenient to have him around. You know why? Because he can go pick up the kids from school when you at work. He can rake the yard when you don't want to do it. He loves to paint, so your house is always going to be freshly painted. So you tolerate him, you love him. If he was a straight bum, you wouldn't want to be bothered with him, but he earns his keep in some lower vibrational ways, and he's not thinking about going higher because maybe that alcoholic uncle always has a story to tell you about what made him broken. This is just in my own experience, right? So when you get to know him, you'll realize that some lady broke his heart. Came home and caught her with the best friend, or found out she was licking some cootie cat. Maybe he didn't like that, whatever. It broke him. So he turned to alcohol, but he still has a good heart. Isn't it something? Let's say, for example, you live in New York City, and now let's make it extreme. You move from Mississippi somewhere, New York City so far, and move into Mississippi, so deep in Mississippi that to get your mail delivered, the mailman got to be in a boat. I don't care how far you moved into the boondocks, that alcoholic uncle, he's going to have his little circle of friends. He's going to make new friends, but he's going to find other alcoholics to hang around with. How is that? He's like-minded people that he never knew before. That kindred spirit, they always lead themselves to each other. I'll just say it like this. Homos are like that. They can just glance at each other and know. They had a commercial, I forgot what it was 4 years ago. One look and you know, one look and you know. I don't know what product they were selling or what that it sticks in my head. One look and you know. And we can apply it to so many other things out here, right? But that's just the way it is. And they always find that kindred spirit. The gossipers always find that kindred spirit. That's why the gossipers, they ain't going to let off on me because I don't want to hear it. Get away from me. See, I'm at that old man phase now where I have no problem with telling you who you are, what you do. I'm not tolerating it because I got stuff that I have to do in this life. Now, if I had it set up and I was going through the computer, there's an illustration that I would have loved to show you, but I'm going to explain it. It was a very simple illustration, and I can say the name because it ain't the government name, right? But Brother Jack Griffin, who often comes here, who I've known from the 70s, and I think the highest of him. the highest of him, you know. And I have to say that I respect him so much because all throughout all my decadence and bad decisions and things in my life, he's never turned his back on me and looked at me any less. Oh, he knows my dirt. He knows my dirt real good. Trust me. He knows a lot more than he's even letting on to. But he sent me an illustration, and I think it was like about maybe 10:30 for me, so it had to be 5:30 for him, where he lives. And it was a silhouette, basically. It was an abstract picture. It was of a man and a little boy walking away. So you saw their backs. It wasn't a detailed picture. All you saw was a silhouette of an older man. And how did I know he was older? He had a cane. Now, some of us who have injuries, we walk around with canes. We might be in our 20s. But you can tell this was an older man with a younger boy. And the younger boy was shorter. I would say just from the height, he could have been maybe like 9 or 10 years old. And so he was holding the hand of the older man who had a cane in the other hand. So, I mean, that's no big thing. So they were all silhouetted in black because there wasn't much more to say about this picture except that within the torso of the older man and within the torso of the little boy, each one had the illustration, very simple, of an hourglass. Maybe you've seen this one before. And in the hourglass of the older man, there wasn't that much sand left to drop to the bottom, which means his time was running out. And the younger boy, most of his sand in his hourglass was up top with a little bit on the bottom. What did that tell me? That the older you get, we're running out of time. And when you're younger, you have so much more sand in your hourglass and you have more time. But time is running out for the both of them. But one has less time and one has more. So in essence, even though I always say it's an artificial construct, time only for this level, because there ain't no clocks in the spiritual realm. It's just a matter of being. But on this level, to see that picture, and I'll probably draw it over again my style, or I'll take it as it is, because now it's a precious illustration because it was given to me from a dear friend who is a brother to me. That would give you a sense of urgency in your life to not waste time. We waste time being so toxic with each other, and we don't realize that we get to a certain point that we've been piddling around and haven't got nothing done. We haven't gotten ourselves better. That's like going home on a Friday from school and you got schoolwork to do and you got to study. Not much, but keep the ball rolling because you have a test on Monday and you don't study and you come bringing your behind up in that classroom with no study time at all, but you did everything else. So are you shocked when your marks are bleeding? 65 or less, 60, that's unacceptable. That means every third question you got wrong, basically. 65 is just 1 point below 66. Isn't it something? They try to say that we're 3/5 of a human being, but at the same time, that's even a higher number. Well, no, it's not a higher number. That's 60. But at the same time, we're satisfied with just passing. 65. A little more than 3/5 of the daggone test. What low standards. So now a lot of us who are just happy with getting by, with passing, we're basically thinking on the 3/5 level. And we accept this. And we strive just to pass. No, I want to make it where I'm not even getting 100. And I nixed that test so good that when you see me every time, you just give me 100 because you know I'm always ready. Doesn't mean you have to be a hardcore, anal retentive perfectionist. No. But strive higher. You were made to go higher. And these people are a big waste of damn time. And they'll waste yours too. So we have to avoid these people at all costs. And I jotted down some thoughts. And I still want to get to the trash culture part. But here it is, my thoughts. Maintaining a progressive and goal-oriented life often involves surrounding yourself with supportive and productive individuals. So take those two words, supportive and productive. How many people around you are supportive of what you do that is productive? See, we can get support for all kind of decadence, but we're not going to get support for doing the right thing to ascend in our lives, which will eventually affect the lives of those around us. You see what I mean? We got all kind of tricks that we support people in doing. Brother man grew up with a brother, right? They grown now. One of the guys there, he has a wife, but he got a girlfriend on the side. So the other brother, who says he respects him, says, hey man, if your woman call you, just say you with me. If anything, and when you come back, we'll get the story together so we can circumvent her being suspicious, right? Or give me your phone. Hopefully she won't call it, but if she does, I'll say you ran up in the store or whatever and give me your girlfriend's number. And we can three-way it. So, I mean, all these damn things will support. And so when that marriage breaks up, you had a hand in it. Huh? But then if we said, listen, brother, I need 20 people to donate $50 so we can start this business. And I'm going to give you all a business plan to show you, and I'm going to put all of your names legally in this business. And I want your support to help make it flourish so that the $50 that you put in can go more. And over and above, you can draw that money back after the thing. Man, I got rent to pay, man. I got some. And then they're going to be at the club with that roll of money, showing off with rent money, trying to attract the women and spending more, and ended up broke just to get between that woman's legs. But they could not even spend $50 for something that was sensible that you can't lose, because at the end of the day, you can get your $50 back if the business fails. That he put that money up in escrow that is sitting there now, proven to you, legally putting up the papers. And we won't do it. But we'll support decadence. We'll support foolishness. Why is that? Why is that? And when we see someone doing something, I'm not even going to say trying to do it, they doing the damn thing. Instead of getting around them and saying, listen, I have to admire you. I've seen you come up from the dirt with this idea of yours. And yes, you struggled for so many years, but you're putting into this, you're consistent. And now you're over the hump to the point where you're receiving profit. And what I admire about you is that the profit that you receive, you put it back into your business. You bought yourself a new car, but you didn't just buy yourself a new car to style because you were driving around that old truck. Now you bought a brand new Toyota Corolla. And people are mad that you bought it new. You could have went on with that money that you gained because you told me what you make. You could have went in cash and got your little Lexus or Benz truck, but you got a Toyota. And under the business, you didn't really buy it, you leased it. So it's a tax write-off. You did this thing smart. Where are the people who are crying broke, barely making it, because they got time all day to damn gossip and hate on you with their toxic self, where they can learn something and join on with you? But because you are going to that level and you worked hard and you earned it, for some reason, they feel as though you don't deserve it. Why are we like that? Why are we like that? What is wrong with us? I hate to keep saying crabs in a barrel. I'm going to try to find out and make up something different to be unique. But that's what it is. And the white man you blame, he chilling. And I always use this example. You get two white men who hate each other because the other white man, he found was screwing his wife. He divorced that wife. He has another one. But he don't deal with this dude because he knows he's a predator. Can't bring him around your house. Always wanting to hug up on your wife, or you catch him looking in her ass. You know what's on his mind. But a good business deal comes up. And the guy knows that the guy who screwed his wife, his ex-wife, is very good in a certain industry, a certain business. But an opportunity comes to the man that was done wrong. I'm going to say it like this, and we don't mean all white people, and I'm not exalting anybody. I have to make it black and white, cut and dried, so you can see it, because we know there are different gradients of this. But you got that white man who was done wrong, who has this opportunity to make millions. And he knows the best man is the man who screwed his wife that he don't talk to no more. This is what you hear. Hello? Hey, Bill. I know you're surprised at the fact that I'm calling you after what you did to my ex-wife and broke up my marriage, little whore. But you know what? We have to put differences aside. I have a business opportunity, goddammit, that you can be good in. I can't stand you. We can work together, only work together. We're not going to be friends anymore, but we both stand to make lots of money. Black folks, shoot. You ain't going to deal with the next one simply because they said something terrible about you. That might not even be true. That got back to you. I ain't talking to that nigga. He got my name all up in his mouth. And in certain cases, yes, you do want to keep those people away from you. What I mean is that we'll cut off our own leg. we'll go past to not see the beauty of an opportunity that we all can flourish because you don't want to see that next person flourish that you can't stand so much. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? How sick we are with the evil. Because, you know, the base is evil, but then it's just straight sickness on top of the evil. Ain't nothing worse than being evil and sick, but it's mostly evil. That's just what it is. It's crazy to me how we do each other. So let me go back to this. Let me read off something here. I guess it's supportive and productive. How many people in your life are supportive and productive on their own right? Raw Reality says, I'm not going to touch the phone or put it on the screen because the phone, every time I touch the phone, something goes wrong. I'm going to leave it like that. We're just going to read it out for those who don't see the chat room. This is so true, Lance. That is how white people operate. They may hate each other, but will come together around a certain principle to achieve a certain goal. For real, textbook. You said it, man. That's the way, that should be the definition. If I ever have a SCURV dictionary and we want to explain that Raw Reality, that exact, the way you wrote it exactly, that's what it is. They may hate each other, but will come together around a certain principle to achieve a certain goal. That's how they are. I don't understand it. Why can't we do the same? We have enough money in America alone by what we spend to be the 16th most powerful, largest country in the world out of what I think is about 204 countries. If that ain't stupid. And if this is our track record after all these years, and I was going to say it yesterday, but I had things to attend to. That's why at the hour mark, I kind of cut it short. I want to go in. Hell, I might go in on a third show after this one. That it's not just this type or that type, but all of us are so messed up. I'm sorry. I'm leery now. I'm leery when certain black folks come to me. Now, I'm not going to go and say I condone what the generation, younger generation said in the comment earlier, where they'd rather marry somebody out of their race or date or do business, whatever have you. I'm not going to say that. This is why we want to jump from the fire into the pan, from the pan into the fire. But all I'm saying is that I got to vet you now. So what I want to say also, of what you may not know, I'm not going to get specific, but could you imagine what I've gone through here online? Could you imagine with the entities and the people who are hungry for attention and people who think like this attention don't get to my head? Y'all think this attention gets to my head? I had enough hugs when I was a child. I had enough attention and energy poured into me. I've done things long before the internet came into being, as we know it, that got me a lot of attention. So there ain't no ego here. I'm saturated with attention. I want to do the work. I want to be involved in something other than an ego grab, other than clout chasing. Who the hell cares if you get more followers than me? Who the hell cares if I get more likes than you? This imaginary dynamic set up to distract us away from each other because it attaches that thing to narcissistic people who have huge egos, and now we're chasing something that doesn't exist. This is why I can't talk about anything other than real life. I cannot get a costume. I want to be the one who is the prophet. I want to be the one who is the leader. Let me go now. And these people got some terrible lives and terrible things that are happening in life, and they're fraudulent. You know how many fraudulent? Listen, if I called out, see, from my positioning on social media, and the people I know that don't want the world to know that they know me, I'm not saying I'm important, but there are people in some pretty high places in media that are black, that meet with me, like the married dude who meets with the married with the single woman because he having an affair. That's the way it is with me. Not that there's anything sexual going on. What I'm saying is that our relationship must be kept in secret. And they tell me things. They tell me things. They reveal things to me. And it ain't gossip. It's like, listen, brother, you deal with this one, but be very leery on this level and keep this other part of your existence to yourself because they got loose lips or whatever. And the people that come to me, the quacks, that come to me and they sound convincing, but they're nutcases. I can't say this publicly. I'm not going to disrespect somebody that you may respect, but I know what they are. And I don't say that in a condescending way. So while you know black people in real life, face to face and stuff, and you get online, and all of us have tasted it, because most of us have Facebook pages and YouTube accounts and Instagram accounts, and you find certain things out. But me doing this all these years, I've been doing this before YouTube was in existence, and I was catching it back then. The egos and the people. I don't like this one, and this one. Oh, I think she trying to get next to Lance. I think she want to give Lance some cooter cat. So we gonna team up on this one and act funny with this one, but we gonna try to act nice to Lance. Who am I? Am I some billionaire? I'm scared every time I look at my bank account. I hope nothing came out of it that ain't supposed to make it bounce and to go into overdraft protection. We've all been there sometimes. And occasionally things time out wrong. But I remember there are certain times in my struggle when I was struggling that overdraft protection became part of my budget. I only got $22 in my account, and I hope nothing comes out too quick. But I got to do some food shopping, and I'm going to spend that $500. I'll keep 22 left in there. And hopefully in 3 days, I can put that money back. We all go through it on some level. And that's how we begin to master certain things. You see? But it's crazy how it is and how we have to navigate. But like I said, I have to vet everybody. You cannot come to me with the black talk unless I know you. You just can't come talking pro-black and I'm going to latch onto you because that's how they do me. They used to do me with that all the time. You know? Like when they used to ego stroke young black men or older black men back in the day after slavery when you had to pay somebody something to do something. Hey, you Negro, come over here. I was telling my friend that you so strong you can lift all those boxes over there and bring it over to the other side of the yard. And he said, no, you can't. And I said, I know you're strong. Manipulating us. Yeah, I'm a proof. I can do it. And lift it over all the way to the other side. And they throw you a couple dollars far less than what. And you proud that you proved it wrong. Proved the other guy wrong. And you huffing and puffing. And they played you. Telling these women you love them. Baby, I love you. I'm going to be with you forever. Oh, I love you. You're the perfect woman for me. Oh, you're the best. Oh, you're this. Until you get up in there when you talk about, oh, you're the best. Oh, you're this and that. And you drop that load and you're gone. Never to be seen again. They're so damn deceptive. We know exactly what we have in our mind when we get around certain people, and most of us don't even understand that. We know. If we can read minds, it'll be very scary. You got women, brothers, and I'm not throwing off on women. You got women who are so angry that now they didn't find their Mr. Right. Now, let me just segue into this. I'm not saying every woman's walking around thinking about that. Some women don't want to be bothered at the crap they've been through, and I condone it. Heal yourself. Healing first. But there are some women, and I've said this before, and I'll say it the same way for those who never heard it before. You have the type of woman who says, ain't no good men out here. Ain't no good men out here. All these men are dogs. And they really have internalized this. Not because they don't have a man of their own, but they've been done wrong. And they may not have a man of their own. Understood. So we get to certain ages and we feel a little void and we get mad at the fact that the very thing we want, we don't have. So we get mad at it. You see a nice luxury car. At one point in your life, you could have afforded it, but now you can't. Now you're telling yourself, and you say, I don't really want no luxury car. No, it's not that. You just don't have the damn money to buy one. And you fell off on some foolishness, and now you're not in position no more. And this is what a lot of young ladies and older women, a lot of times it's the ones getting up there in age, and a lot of men too. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to bring it right on back to the topic. But you have that woman who may still be attractive, because you know black don't crack. But then there's that family across the street. Now she's saying in her head, all men are dogs. But she sees a man every day when she sits on her front porch or in the window peeping out. This man is with his family. He's cutting the lawn. He's taking the kids out to the amusement park. And you know it because you hear how they, Mommy, Daddy took us to the amusement park and took us to McDonald's. Just don't feed them that poison. I'm just making up a story here, right? And this woman who says all men are dogs has to see that there's a man in front of her who ain't a dog. As far as what she can see, she's not seeing him 24/7, but let's say he is not a dog. He is fully invested into the ascension, the comfort, the security, the safety, and the future of his family. This doesn't match up with what she thinks about men. So she's got to either accept the fact that there's something that was off in her life, which it doesn't mean that if you wait around long enough that you're just going to get a good man. If you want a good man, work on yourself. Keep yourself healed. The universe will beckon to bring you what it is that you need, but you have to be doing something for yourself and not waiting for that. It will come. The universe brings to you what you need, not always what you want, but it'll bring you what you need. If you are sincere in improving yourself and sincere in being supportive of others and productive for yourself. Now, she can't accept this. Why can't I find a good man like that? But she can't hold on to the fact that all men are dogs. So what does she do on a negative level? Instead of accepting that and seeing the example of the good man and saying, you know what? Let me study that wife. The wife is fully supportive of the man. I'm not saying she's a slave just to cook and clean. She might even have her own career. But from what she can see when she was out in the front yard and she'd wave at them and hear them talk, she wasn't putting him down. She wasn't ridiculing him. She wasn't putting everybody else in the whole world over him that they just met 3 years ago. She'd been with this man and she knows that it's him first, of course her first, and of course God first, and that he feels the same way too. Don't let these niggas, I said it, permeate your life with they crap, because in their union, you don't know. And I'll talk about that in a second. Let me just finish this one up. So now the wife goes away out of the country, and she overheard that it may be a couple of months, and the kids are with their aunt. So the man is by himself. So he goes to work and does what he does the same way when the wife was there, but now he's an open target. And she sees that he's a good man. And she knows this, but she still wants to believe that all men are dogs, because if she doesn't believe this, that means she's going to have to take some accountability in her thinking and alter her thinking, which she does not want to do. So what does she do? The man's out there cutting the lawn, walks down the side of the house and comes back out. She knows the routine, and then he's going to go do the backyard. So she goes out there, wasn't planning on doing nothing in her yard, which is a little unkempt and should have been worked on, but she's too busy looking out the window and watching the gossip websites, not being productive. Remember the word productive and supportive. So she goes out there. Now, you know, women have their clothes in their wardrobe, and sometimes they put on a little weight. With our sisters, they can put on a little weight and they may be in the right places, and black men ain't gonna say, oh, you're an inch over in your waistline. No, they looking at something else, and they thinking more to love. And you come out there with an outfit that you haven't worn in 10 years, a skirt. Now you expanded in your hips, so the skirt that was above your knee is halfway up your knee, and all of a sudden you want to start bending over. And why is it that when these types start bending over, they turn their backside to the man that can see the back, that can see their backside? You know what you're doing. He glanced at you and waved, as he does all the time when his wife is there, but now you come up with a problem. And now you have a top that's too tight to hold the girls in. The boobies are popping out. Areolas are looking like Oreo cookies. And you know, when most men see that, their mouths start salivating like it's an Oreo cookie. So you come across the street because you need help with a tool that you have that you say is not working properly. But you want to really get over there across the street because of all the kids he has. You know that he has a tool that's working real good and proper. And it's not necessarily that you want that. You want an indication that he's going to look at you a certain way, maybe try to hit on you, talk with double speak, where he says something to you that lets you know that he's down for something to happen since his wife is gone. And really and truly, that's all she wants. Why? So she can turn around and be happy in the fact that she can say all men are dogs. You see what I mean? So these married dudes out here, right? And we're talking about the evil, toxic things that black people do. We can get this. I can give you examples all day long because I done been through it. I become a master at this. If they ever have a degree in human nature, I'm not bragging, but they need to give me the first one without even having to study. Because all my life I have studied. I'm like that mechanic that hears you drive up and you don't know what the hell that noise is, and I know it because I've dealt with it time and time again. I'm the kind of person that can get around you and feel you. Much less when you done did stuff and you trying to rearrange your stripes like it ain't like that, and I know exactly what it is, and you wonder why I ban you from being around me. I don't have the time. I'm becoming that older man who has an hourglass where there's more sand in the bottom and less up top, and I know it. Rest in peace, Michael Hamer. Brother called me like 3 weeks ago. Hey, Lance, brother, you know, we got to do another show. It's been a while. I'm like, man, I'm ready here for you anytime. You call me anytime. If I'm sleeping, I'll get up and record it. Just hang up when you're done. When I have somebody in my life, in my inner circle, who has such knowledge and wisdom, it's not about what I'm doing. I have to stop what I'm doing. And many times I've been busy when I have people call in that want to record something, but I stop what I'm doing and I accommodate them because I know the hourglass is dripping sand. I know that even when we get to certain ages, there's more sand in the bottom than there is in the top. So what am I gonna do? Oh no, I gotta sleep, man. I'm tired, man. If I did that, half the stuff that's out there that you enjoy, that's even from other people. It's not about me. I got tons of stuff from other people that you enjoy. Am I mad at that? No, I'm happy to share the people that come into my life. I could have kept a Michael Hamer to myself, right? I could have kept a Neil Frazier to myself. I could have kept a Dr. Ade to myself. Now, there's certain ones you ain't going to see because they did some foul stuff, whether I was there or not. And that's just what it is. Or they associate with enemies who try to put things in their head. Oh, you don't need to go in that show. Hey, you don't need to be. You don't need to because they want to be. They can't get no attention, so they want to destroy what you have. Read between the lines. I'm getting rid of you, and it must be a reason. And like the lady said in the meme, and I say this every day, some way, somehow, you want to paint me as being the monster in the book of your life. Well, go back to the prior chapters to tell what you did to me to make me the monster. Why am I like this? There's got to be a reason. I didn't just get up and start treating people bad. What is it that came before that made me that way? But you know, Negroes are only going to tell a certain part of the story, and they're going to frame it the way they want to frame it. I ain't got no time for that. Go on, lick your wounds. I don't care. There's less sand in the top of my hourglass than there is in the bottom. And I got things inside of me to do, and I think I really don't have as much time to get it out in the time that I have remaining. So we say, well, we'll live to 120 years, Lance. You double your age, you'll be 120. That'd be nice, but I'll be a scary looking sight. And will I have all my faculties? You got to do what you got to do now, and you cannot waste your time. You cannot waste a day, an hour, a minute, or a second around people who are not going to be supportive and productive in their own life. You know, one of my words favorite is incrementally, surgical precision. I say these things to keep me focused. I say these things to keep a big task from seeming to be something that is overwhelming. So if I say incrementally, I take it piece by piece so I can defeat the mountain in front of me. I don't, oh my God, that mountain is too big. Oh, I can't. No, I can defeat anything in front of me if I'm focused, bite into it incrementally with surgical precision, which means you have to be focused. You have to be focused, and that's something that most of us don't have. We got time to run our mouth. But what is your mission for the day? You tell me what your mission statement is 5 years from now, 1 year, but what is it today? If you building a house and you using bricks or cinder block or whatever, each block is important in the overall fruition, bringing this house into fruition. It's important. What you're doing right now is the foundation of what you're doing tomorrow. So like these two ladies that I said, and I don't know they are, but I use it for the whole thing. They look like two ladies sitting there gossiping. And at the end of the day, what is that going to do? And they get mad when they see you productive, gradually going towards your goals. They don't like it when you got something productive to do. And don't let it be something the world knows. Man, that LANCESCURV, man, he think you all that. But you know, I'm going to get around him and try to discourage him from doing what it is he's doing. He has to stop. You're not in America no more. You need to stop. Well, I need to stop. Because you hanging around a Negro that's saying my platform is going to die because you ain't there? Oh, I missed that memo. I'm still doing it. And if I don't do this, I'm doing something. If you see me fall off for 2 days, you know I'm doing something behind the scenes. There's always something up my sleeve. My mind never stops working. And then there's this other word called momentum. You are never going to get momentum with somebody who is stagnant. You pedal on the bike, you pedal on the bike. There's somebody on the bike, but they're standing there still. You got up so much speed on your bike that you can stop pedaling all the time. But you can't stop your bike and stand next to them and talk to them for 1 second. Because you have momentum, and if you give up the momentum you've earned, you're not going to get where you have to go, and then you got to start all over again. Some of us who are so nice and so giving, we give our time to these people. But we don't understand that they will take our time, and we're being nice, trying to uplift and trying to encourage and trying to, they don't plan on doing nothing. They're do-nothings. They grit their teeth in anger. And you think they're smiling because they see your future, but they too damn lazy to even get up and form a plan and work incrementally toward the plan and being productive in the plan. And also, your way of tithing shouldn't be no damn money to a pastor with alligator shoes and a Benz. and a couple of women he's screwing in the church that's in the front row showing their legs. Reminded them, listen, when you collect that money out the offering plate, you're going to take me out later on. You got to pay for that condo this month. You got to tithe by supporting something worthwhile. You support something that's not worthwhile, I don't care how hungry the person is. If you lazy and don't want to do nothing, you ain't going to get my money. So let's take money out of it. Being supportive in a good way. You're a retired school teacher. You live next door to 2 or 3 children who are not doing as good in school. Instead of sitting there in the front window, worried about what's going on in the neighborhood, you know, it'd be better if you take your time and offer to the mother or father or parents who are next door and say, listen, you know, I was in the backyard there with you when we were talking, and you know, I noticed that your child's, you know, marks are a little low. I'd offer my services. I'm not asking you anything, but I want to feed into them, and maybe my life can make a difference. How many people think that way? They ain't my children, damn it. They need to go on a bit. They gonna pay me. I don't even want to be bothered with that. That's somebody else's problem. You see what I mean? So this is how we do. We are worst enemies, and we're so toxic with each other, and it's evil. Toxic is one thing, but evil toxicity. Imagine on a physical level when you have to go and clean yourself out. You get a colon cleanser or do a high colonic, and you're really, really getting into what's in you and getting it out. But when you are spiritually toxic and mentally toxic, usually you're physically toxic too, because toxicity breeds toxicity, right? You go on to a vacation for a whole month, and you seal up your windows, lock your doors, but you forget to take out the garbage. You forget to flush the toilet. You in the car getting ready to leave, and your little son, 8 years old, eats a whole lot. Mommy, before we go, Daddy, before we go, I want to go inside the house, and I got to use the bathroom. What you got to do is go over by the tree. No, I got to do number 2. All right. I'm going to open the door for you. Going up. You don't check. I mean, he has enough sense to wipe his backside and flush the toilet, but he was in a rush so much that he took a dump. There's always that little kid that they forget to flush the toilet. You're like, God, dog, what are they, a 300-pound truck driver? All of that came out of them? But he forgets to flush the toilet, and y'all forget to take the garbage out, right? If you run to the store and come back, it's not going to do so bad because you can correct those things, but you're away for a whole month. And when you hit that front door, when you come back, man, I don't care how much, for some reason, the windows are sealed. You got all kind of flies flying around and buzzing around your house. You got all kind of maggots at the bottom of that garbage, and the flies and the stench permeated into all parts of the house. Even the bedrooms where the doors were closed, it's stinking in there too. So toxicity breeds toxicity. Huh? That's what it is. So to be away from these people, what do you have to do? You have to set clear boundaries. Clearly define your personal and professional boundaries to protect your time and energy from people who don't respect them. You can have a husband and wife, and you can have people who are so determined. I'm going to be respectful of the wife, but I'm going to show him with my little kicks. I don't give a damn about him. I wish he would go away. Because the wife is so nice and we can get anything out of her. She's so giving. But the husband can see right through us. So we feel uncomfortable and we can't get shit from him. So they're going to try to break y'all up. They won't respect the boundaries, but they want to come and permeate and drop a word here and there and play innocent. You deal with things head on. You call things out. You set clear boundaries, whether it's mental, whether it's spiritual, or if it's physical. If you got to build a damn wall up to the moon, you're going to do it because people don't respect you and won't, but you have to force them to and keep them out of your life with they toxic gossiping asses. And you have to understand how to identify toxic traits. You got to learn to recognize the signs of toxic behavior such as constant negativity, manipulation, and dishonesty. Constant negativity, which means it's not going to come to you looking negative, but when you peel back the wrapper of the conversation that you had, they said all these nice things just to drop that negativity in your subconscious mind. Ain't that something? Manipulation. See, when you're being manipulated, truly, you don't even know you're being manipulated. It's setting you up. And you don't know. See, we can spot it in other people, pretty much. Let me raise up this table. I'm tired of sitting down. Okay. I forgot I took the plug out. Hold on a second, folks. I'm going to put this plug in and raise this table up so I can stand up now. And again, I say to everybody, there's a company called Autonomous. I'm sorry, I almost said Anonymous. It's Autonomous. I don't get any kickbacks from them, but I want y'all to check them out because they have tables that rise up to your chest level. Now, if you're a basketball player, they gonna go there. I'm 5'10", and I can put it up as high to go up to my nipple line. Weird comparison, right? Talking about his nipples. It's not professional. I'm not a professional. But they have small tables. They have larger tables. They're really affordable. They may seem a little expensive, but when you look at it, you may have somebody who is older and they got into the computer now. They didn't do it years ago, but they're internet savvy. They don't have good circulation and they're sitting down. A lot of times I do my shows and I do my work. Everything stays the same on the table except it rises up. I can stand straight up now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna rise up a little more. One of those wires that's connected to everything is not gonna pull out of the wall. But it's really good because it gives you the circulation. You can right now, I'm walking in place, right? So it extends your time sitting down because it's too long. To sit down too long, it's a bad thing. So it's helped me a whole lot over the years. I've had this for like I had it for 3 years, but I didn't put it together until 2020, I started using it, right? Anyway, that's identifying those toxic traits. Watch them and observe them, how they talk with other people, how they deal with other people. Look at the people that come around them. You know, if porch Negroes live their life on the porch looking at you, and they invite company over, and they don't have any edifying conversation, they're going to join in. So you're going to have more porch Negroes watching. I hate to say it that way, but I have to be a little more harsh now. I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm not. I'm trying to insult somebody into a higher way of thinking. Because if I sit here and run my mouth and try to say good words, it don't mean nothing. I'm wasting my time. You go to the Marines, you go to the service, whatever, and they yell at you. What you call home? Your mother, he yelled at me. It's taking you out of your comfort zone to break you down, to build you back up. Well, why can't we do that to ourselves and identify the toxic things that are inside of ourselves? Why can't we do that? Well, I'm always going to try to keep myself out of the comfort zone. I'm going to keep a foot in it. I'm going to enjoy it when I go to bed and rest at night, a little sip of tea and enjoy that. But I got one foot out of that. I crave to be out of the comfort zone constantly, not too much. If you've never been to the gym before and you want to lose weight, get muscle, don't mean you're going to go to the first day. I worked out for 12 hours. Well, you ain't going back there for another 2 weeks then. Incrementally, y'all. Surgical precision, going with a plan. Even when I don't have a reason to say the word, I walk around the house. Miss Scurv might be out in the backyard or something like that. I t-shirt, and ain't nobody home. I'm naked, half naked, incrementally. What you say? Incrementally. Surgical precision. Supportive. Productive. Say the words in your life. But you want to hear gossip? And you put that in your mind, you poisoning yourself. Even if it is amusing and feels good to hear, you're poisoning yourself. I'd rather be in my own set of solitary confinement, mumbling the words that I mumble, researching and reading the things that I choose to read, and that's something that's inflicted into my mind through social media. You know, many of us got very muscular thumbs. If you're right-handed, you hold the hand in your right, you hold the phone in your right hand. If you're left-handed, you hold the phone in your left hand. But that thumb has learned to scroll up. Wake up in the morning, we scrolling up. looking at what other people are doing in their lives or the crap they put out that's not edifying. And you look around and you've been to the bed a whole hour and your head is programmed with all of this stuff. You don't even know what it is that you have to do for the day. And the night before, you might have said, tomorrow I got to get up, I got to pay this bill. Tomorrow I got to get up and I got to do this, I got to do that. And you walking around now with that digital crack pipe called social media and that smartphone, which dumbs you down. You really don't know how much you can get done in a day if you wake up focused and you keep toxic people away from you. You really don't know. And like I said, we all have the seeds of greatness in us, even those who don't realize that they do, even those that are evil and toxic. They have it too, but they tend to not want to take care of their yard or their house the way, and I don't mean yard or house, but if you give everybody you know a certain or exact measure of land with the exact house, which I don't want nobody else's house, I want mine, right? But if you were to put them in a position where you say, I'm giving you this, it's the exact same house, exact same yard, come back in 3 years. Hell, come back in 2 months. Some people are not going to have their lawn cut. Some going to have leaks in the roof. And they ain't taking care. They ain't trying to take care of it. They keep playing the lottery. I'm going to hit one day. But that water is dripping in. And maybe not after 3 years so soon, right? With a roof. I'm just trying to paint a picture here. They ain't changed oil in their car. We gave them a car too, right? Same exact car. Some, the car looked brand new. Some, the car looked beat down. You see what I mean? So we're in charge of our destiny more than what we realize. But with these toxic traits that we have that are unseen, those things come back to bite us in a very bad way. And only you can see it over time. I don't need to see it over 5 years. I can sniff it in people right away. And I have to say that when I didn't trust my instincts, it never worked out well when you embrace do-nothings in your life. I'm going to plug this phone in because the power's going down. Let me know if it still sounds good. You know? Yes, yappa yappa, you can get more done with focus. But most of us don't know how to focus, right? And if we don't know how to focus, that should be first and foremost in our mind. Let me be able to extract the most that I can out of my day, and I can't do it with fraudulent entities around me or consuming junk. People say, well, when you used to do bodybuilding back in the day, how did you look like? How did you? I was eating the same food. Not the same food as everybody else around me, but I had to have focus and discipline to have an accumulation, an effect that came over time, that it made my body look a certain way because I wasn't putting down the bad stuff. But I had to have focus. The other foods look like they taste good, but it wasn't going to give me that look. And most people will never look that way because they got no damn discipline. No focus. But they know how to tell you how that girl around the corner is pregnant. Some of us, somehow, people we half know as soon as sperm hit egg, somehow you know the girl around the corner is pregnant. All the stuff didn't even come falling out of her yet. And you know she's pregnant. Damn, you good. Or since you play the lottery, why don't you know the winning lottery numbers? Since you know so much. Huh? So you got to identify these things in people, and you ain't got to explain. Run. Because your very life depends on it. If you have the luxury of a deathbed, a transition bed, and you look back on your life and you know it's a matter of days before you get on up out of here, you ain't got nothing to do but think about what your life has been, and you have to be brutally honest. Ain't nobody in denial on the deathbed. Ain't nobody in denial on the deathbed. Because now, when you know you lived your life jacked up, here come the deathbed confessions. And I don't mean death like you're not going to live. It depends on the person and how you lived your life. Let's say there is a heaven and a hell. Heaven don't want your toxic crap. Well, I'm going to go on up there. I'm a nice person, but you never worked on certain things. And so you got to leave that behind. And if that's so much a part of your life, then you ain't going to get that in the afterlife. You ain't going to have no afterlife. No, I've never been there, I don't know, but I know you ain't gonna take the crap from this world into the next level. You're not gonna transition with this crap. Just the same way if you try to shoplift in the department store and you gotta walk by those two tall white sensors right by the door. Oh, you can't leave without this stuff. You can't say you forgot, and if you did, well, you gotta leave it. Because you ain't going out of here with that. You're not leaving out of this store with the stuff that belongs here. The carnal stuff, the decadent stuff that belongs on this level, on this crazy world that we live in, that's changing ever so swiftly. No. You ain't going up out of here with it. And you lying to yourself if you think you do. If you do. Huh? You got to trust your instincts. If you have a gut feeling that someone is not a positive influence, you got to trust your intuition. Come on, y'all. How many times did you have a feeling about something? And the surface, let's put it in the form of a person, and the surface looked right, they said all the right words, everything, and they let you down. Or you realize they were just using you, right? For whatever reason. But you ignored the gut feeling. And you find out the grim truth. And you realize now, wow, it was my gut feeling, but I just went against it. And now you learn as you get older to trust in that. The old church leaders will say, well, you got to trust in the Lord. We got ways of saying it. My intuition, my third eye, my gift of discernment, whatever way you want to call it is the same thing. How many different words in the world are used to describe a hamburger? Every country doesn't have their language and all of a sudden they say hamburger. Whatever they call it in that country, you better ask for it that way or else you ain't going to get it when you get hungry if you happen to eat hamburgers. Speak the language. And that divine language, when you try your best to keep yourself spiritually tuned up, it's going to come and serve you and tap you in the shoulder and say, hey, that situation over there, that person over there, something ain't right. Something ain't right. The older you get, the more, you know, because you always got that little girl. Unfortunately, she may have gotten pregnant. She's not evil. And so when she comes to the mother, the father, the saying, usually the little girl wants to come to the mother. You know, she ain't going to tell the daddy that. The mother going to tell them, then they're going to sit down. What's the first thing that little innocent girl said? Mommy, he told me he loved me. So he was deceptive and catered to the little girl's heart to get what he wanted, and now he bounced. Deception. And she knows what the parents said about these little hot in the ass boys, right? Or hot in the crotch. Well, then again, a hot in the ass boy ain't gonna try to go after a woman. A hot in the ass boy is gonna try to mess with a man and bend over. So accept my corrections. But they use deception to get in. And you know what you were told, but you don't really have the ingrained intuition that comes from experience in life. But the more we get older, we can see past things. And I always say it, there's a girl that brings a boy home to meet the grandmother who's on the porch. And the boy continues on because they're all walking home. But she said, you know, how are you? To the little boy, oh, much respect, grandma, or whatever you want to call her. You know, Mrs. So-and-so, Miss Anderson, much respect. Yeah, he's my friend. You know, when you're young, you don't want to say boyfriend, like you just saying, this is my man type thing. We don't say that. But as the boy walks off, the grandmother knows she lived life. She don't look like she out there. She ain't in the club. She looks old. Her body's breaking down. I mean, she's all hunched over, whatever have you. So the young girl thinks the grandmother don't know life. But the grandmother says, listen, baby, that boy ain't for you. He don't care about you. He ain't paying you no mind. You can't say that, grandma. You don't know him. No, I may not know his middle name. I may not know everything about him, but I can tell you right now that he is not in your corner. He's only looking for one thing. And your heart is broken, but you still continue to see the little boy behind your grandmama's back. She didn't say, don't see him. She just told you the right direction to go into, is to leave that boy alone, because I can see with my experience that this ain't gonna work out too right. You see what I mean? But you got to find that out. And after you find that out, you go to your grandmother, you hurt, you don't even want to bring it up, but after a while, the pain fades, and you say, Grandma, how'd you know? How'd you know that he wasn't in my corner? How'd you know that he didn't really like me? Did you see him with somebody else? Did you hear something about him? Did he have a reputation of something I didn't know? No, baby. Your grandmama lived life. And grandma done been through so many situations that I can look at something and tell exactly what it is. You've been doing appraisals. You're a person who went to school to learn how to do appraisals on properties before they're sold. You walk into a house. You got a friend who just purchased a home, but you live out of town, and you have him come by and say, hey, listen, just check my house out briefly. I'll give you a little buzz. No, man, we know each other. We cool. I'll do it for you. And you think this house is worth what you paid for. And the friend turns around and tell you, say, listen, I'm going to tell you from now, you should have called me first, because this house is not worth what it was claimed to be. The appraiser that you had worked along with that mortgage company. You should have brought an independent appraiser, because they amped up the price. Look at the foundation it has a crack in it. You didn't notice that, but that's freshly smeared concrete over that crack, and they tried to paint over it. That's why you got to look at it sideways. See that it's been altered. You know, when you get a car and you got that friend that knows so much about cars, and you're going to purchase a car and you feel confident, but he looks at the bodywork a certain way, and it was cheap, shoddy bodywork, and you see the waves in it, but you didn't see it because it was so shiny and painted over nice. Just like them dudes, I don't know if you've all had the experience. This is usually something in the bigger cities. You sitting there, coming out the mall, shopping mall, big shopping mall, and you walk and you got your bags and stuff, and you know you got a kind of bad dent or some rust on the side of your car. And you get some dudes with an accent. Excuse me. That's your car, right? Yeah. I can fix that up for you. For $100, I can fix it up for you. And you're like, $100? Really? Yeah. All I need to do, bring it over there. It's about 15 minutes from here. We can set it up. Of course, they ain't gonna stay there for long. And you had them do this work, and it looks good. You're like, woo! Wow! All I spent is $100. And then when it rains, you realize there's nothing more. Not exactly, but there's nothing more than joint compound they stuck up under there. And it starts breaking off like chalk. Isn't that something? So you got to be careful who you deal with, and trust your gut, trust your instincts. And you also have to assess your relationships, because Negroes can change. What they want to get out of you can change. They shouldn't want to get nothing out of you, but you give them the perks of who you are. You always give your inner circle the hookup, but you got to regularly evaluate the people in your life to determine if they contribute to your growth and well-being. You ever hear the Trojan horse? I forgot the exact situation, but there was a gift of this big horse given really to an enemy, but they didn't know it was the enemy giving them the horse. So, oh, wow, it's so nice. You wielding this big horse with wheels on it, and it's a gift, and we're going to have it out here. I'm not telling the story right, y'all. I'm making it up to prove the point. We're going to have it out here as a monument. This is great to the might of our country. But really, the enemy was the one to facilitate bringing that Trojan horse, right? And that makes me, you know what I'm realizing right now? Maybe y'all didn't realize it. I'm going to say it after I tell the story. It just hit me. You know, sometimes things hit you after years, you don't know why. But anyway, they accepted the gift of the horse. And when they got behind the enemy wall, locked everything up, and they saw a door on the side of the horse, and what is this? The door slid open, and all these soldiers, I'll call them, troops or whatever, came in to slash and and defeat the enemy, the Trojan horse. The Trojan horse. Now I know why the company that makes the condoms called Trojans call the Trojans. Because you want to keep what's inside away from breaking and impregnating somebody. The little soldiers coming out. Trojans. Trojan man. That's why they call it that. Somebody was very creative in that. It just hit me right now. Maybe everybody else knew, and maybe I'm dumb. My brain, my big head is always filled up with all kind of stuff. Trojans. What's inside that you want to keep outside, but you let it in? And if you don't have the Trojan condom, those little troops gonna get in and raise hell if you ain't ready for it. Ain't that something? That's crazy, right? So you gotta always assess, because people can come into your life a certain way and change on you. So you have to reevaluate, because now they could be turning on you and hating on you, your success, whatever, and want to bring it down. They can get better. And I want people to assess me, rate me, evaluate me. How are you going to be on the job and not get that assessment, whether it's yearly or quarterly? Well, you know, when you first got hired, you were so much more dutiful. You were always on time. You went over and above for the company. But it seems like now this being the third quarter assessment of your work, and you're spending more time in the break room. You're not as enthusiastic. You're not meeting deadlines, and you're showing up late. You've been calling out a lot. We're not going to do anything with you now, but we're going to put you in a different status where if this happens again in another quarter, we may have to let you go. And they make you sign it. They may have to do video now because people will lie. So you know with your evaluation where you stand. And too many of us, we're afraid to, I'm not saying give an evaluation, but when things change and it's obvious, open your mouth and say it. If they don't heed, then they must go. But again, your personal hourglass, if you can not see that, and this is not for everybody, because if you're 20 years old listening, you're supposed to live to 100. You don't have to listen to this. But for most of us who get to a certain age, right, there's more sand in the bottom part of the hourglass than there is up top. And just like the illustration of the older man with the little boy who was holding his hand, and the older man had a cane, the little boy had more sand up top and a little bit on the bottom. How much sand is in your hourglass? Up top. And you going on with the foolishness. Let me tell you something that scares me. I'm not scared of too much. Of course, if I see a bucking bronco running through my living room, I'm gonna run. I don't want none of them horns to poke me now and kill me or whatever. If I see somebody pointing a gun at you, I'm gonna stand like Superman and put my hands on my hips. I deserve to get shot if I'm not trying to run and take cover, right? That's foolishness. But we have to understand that, let's play a little game. Let's just say, whatever age you are, double it. If you're 20, let's double it and say 40. Can you say, if you're in reasonably good health, probably aside from an accident or mishap, or I might be alive. I'm 60. I'd love to live for 1,000 years if my body could be kept up. But if I double my age, I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm damn sure going to try, because I want to be here to do the work and get all the seeds of greatness out of me manifested. But chances are, y'all, chances are, I'm not going to say it or claim it, but chances are if I double my age, do you think I'll still be here? It doesn't matter. Because if I'm sitting on my ass and not doing anything, I'm dead now. So why want more time to do nothing? My way of having more of a life is having more intense activity in the time that I have. You understand? In the time that I have. And I don't know, none of us know. So why are you wasting it? So you have to assess the people around you that can become speed bumps. Because this season for me, I'm all in on so many fronts. I ain't even gonna say. You probably already noticed. This guy banging out content and still living a quiet life. There's things I gotta get out the house and do certain things. I gotta come back here, there, whatever. I've learned how to overlap and multitask at the same time. If I'm going to the store, I might do a video while I'm walking up there. I might meet somebody interested and get their phone number to do an interview another time. Who knows? But I know chances are that I'm over the halfway point. And see, let's take this as an example. Even people who are my age, chronological age, well, you know, maybe my family lived to 100 or lived to 90, whatever. Okay, that's cool. But your ass might be out of here in 2 weeks. You might have something different about you and your physical makeup that's different. And you're gone. So I'm not at this age scared. I'm scared of wasting time. That's what scares me. Because I got to account for the time that I spent on this earth. I'm not even talking on that heaven and hell level. I'm talking about accountability. What have you done? What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. Right? That's what scares me, because if somebody treats you to a cruise and you've never been on a cruise and you say, oh, I always wanted to go on a cruise, and they came into some money and they said, you know what? I love you. I'm tired of hearing you say that you want to go on a cruise. So you know what I'm going to do? What you going to do? I'm going to treat you to that cruise. I'm going to find the best cruise, the best ship with the best food, best entertainment, strongest ship, so we don't have no Titanic business happen, which can happen. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you go on the cruise and you come back home and they ask you, how did you like it? Well, I liked it. It detects something wrong with that answer. Like, well, tell me more. It seems like you maybe didn't enjoy yourself. No, I enjoyed myself. But what did you do? Did you check out the cuisine, the food, international, all the food you can eat, but all the time? Entertainment going on all night, karaoke, did you participate in that? There are other people there from your age group, and there are other people there who may come from and look like you. Did you meet any new friends? I didn't do none of that. What? What you talking about? You had nothing else to do. Well, they had it where I can access the internet and I can do a VoIP kind of phone call and talk back with the people back home. I kind of just needed the rest, and I just stayed in my room on the phone, gossiping about stuff. You on a cruise to help purge yourself and cleanse yourself of any toxicity, and somebody gave you a trip and you wasted it? That's like somebody giving you a brand new car that can go fast and you go out and smash it up. What the hell? Unbelievable. And then sometimes you got to know how to limit the contact, to gradually reduce your interactions with toxic individuals, allowing them to fade from your life gradually and naturally. We have that happen with good people in our life. Slowly but surely, life pulls them away. And we make sure to keep in contact, but it happens less and less until we realize years went by that we haven't even talked to them at all. It wasn't because of any reason, because some of you need to do that on purpose. Cold turkey chop. No, I see what's in your heart for good, for real. You ain't using me that way. But it happens. Even with the good people. I have been furiously looking for a phone number to an old friend of mine who was very close to me. Got back in contact with him, changed phones. We weren't talking as much because I'm out here getting myself together in my new life. But I sat there and I said, I got to call him. Number's not in my phone. Oh, damn, that's a new phone. Looking down at the book, didn't write the number down, but I have it here. It's somewhere and I can't find it. And now I'm panicking because I know that he's dealing with a major life-threatening health issue. And I wanted to get my stuff together to tell him, listen, brother, why don't you come on out here and live your time with me? But you don't have to worry about nothing. We here trying to get things together, you know. It's not all the way done yet, but you know, we can spend time together and we can enjoy because he loves nature. And there's another friend I'm extending it to that to. He's not sick, but he's at a point in his life, and I see the beauty of life. And I want us to have our childhood back together again. Certain people, you know, this brother, I knew him when I was 6 years old, 1969. And he was 4 years older than me, but he loved nature. And I was very intelligent for the young age. And we would get around each other and find praying mantis egg cases and certain things with ants. He had a terrarium. He kept lizards. He was different. He was different. Black man, young black man, he was different. And I spoke to him the other day, and we always keep in constant contact. Sometimes a week or two goes by. We're busy. I understand that. Time difference. I'm like, I ain't gonna call him. He might be sleepy. You know what I mean? You know, just like people call you from different time zones and they forget that it's 2 a.m. You sleep. Well, first of all, most people know that I find myself up a lot at night. I'm trying to correct that, be more with the sun. And I am determined this month to totally do that. Like, as soon as the sun comes up, I'm there. As soon as the sun goes down, I'm there. And I'm out there in the sun 24/7 because nothing but sun in summertime here. I want the sun to say, damn, you, man, I'm just getting here and you in my face. Like, you have to deal with me all day. Give me them rays, boy. That's the way it's going to be. But limiting contact with these toxic people, slowly but surely, they will go away. And that's good for you. And you got to be selective in social circles. You got to choose your friends and associates carefully, prioritizing those who align with your values and your goals. They might be into the same thing that you're into, but they got a different feeling towards you. And you discover this, and you're like, okay, all right, we cool. And you have to practice effective communication. You have to address issues with toxic people directly, assertively, and respectfully, which is hard. And express your expectations for a healthy relationship. That's being nice. Express your expectations for a healthy relationship. They may not even have the ability to have a healthy relationship. They don't want to heal themselves, some of these people. If you see a person that doesn't want to go through the process of healing and acknowledging the effed up things in them, whether they were the cause or they grew up in a toxic, dysfunctional family, if they don't want to acknowledge it, then, hey, that cancer is going to spread over to me. Healthy relationship, maybe, but don't bet on it. Because if you got to have effective communication to deal with these people directly and they don't know what they're doing or the effect they have on you, no, you got to get rid of them. Avoid gossip and drama. I talk about that a lot. Steer clear or participating in or being a target of gossip and drama, which often involves toxic individuals. Steer clear of it. What is it doing for you? Because the minute you walk away, they're going to be talking about you. We got folks on the internet, man, that I know personally. They're watching this show. They're on this clubhouse at night. They don't do nothing. Oh, they said something about you on this clubhouse show. What time was it? 3 o'clock in the morning. Wait a second, when are you asleep? Are you making money out of this thing? Is it a business? You running and whispering and talking and cackling and what is your job? Are you a damn agent? Will you be here live next year? People dropping dead in this age group and even in younger age groups. So we got to, you wasting it? No, get away from me. Because you'll be found dead at the keyboard, not from doing something good. What legacy are you leaving? Anyway, oh, she was such a wonderful gossip. She brought me all the news. I'll miss her tremendously. No, because you talk about her, but she wasn't really no good anyway. Surround yourself with positivity to deal with these toxic Black people. Seek out positive, supportive, and inspiring people who can uplift and motivate you. That goes back to being supportive and positive. Say those words. Say the words that are positive in your day. Feed your mind these words. Let it become a reality to you. I didn't end up out here in West Africa just because one day I want to go. Yeah, it starts out that way. But what day? What plan? What year? How you going to get there? How you going to get the money to go out there? How you going to sustain yourself when you out there, when you don't have no jobs out there that they're going to hire you on? When if you did, they ain't going to pay you nothing. But they going to give it to you nowhere. They ain't got no jobs out here for the Ghanaians. How they going to find a job for me? So I got to be able to sustain myself. I got to figure these things out. I got no time for gossip. I got no time for worry about what the next person's doing, what they said, or this. I don't care about that stuff. Are we talking about the gossip and drama that people were talking about 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 25 years ago, 10 years ago? Most of us have become, there's a term that I made up. Most of us have become ministers of useless information. I would say it to the friends who know. So yeah, that's a minister of useless information. They're going to regurgitate something that is useless or it's just not good. And you got to avoid that and surround yourself with positivity. But you also have to build a strong support network that you don't allow these people to infiltrate, these toxic people. You got to cultivate relationships with individuals who share your values, and provide emotional and practical support. Well, if you ain't got nothing going on in your life, then how you gonna provide emotional and practical support? And I'm supposed to be there for you. It's not a one-way street. And it's not always 50-50. Sometimes I'll give you 90 and you take it and you give me back 10. Might be like that for 10 years, but there might be a reason for that. It's what you need. You don't take more than what you need. That's the problem with us in these relationships. With positive people, the negative people are going to try to take all they can get. And when you drain down, they ain't got nothing for you. They'll be singing the Flavor Flav song. I can't do nothing for you, man. You jump from the jelly into the jam. Focusing on your goals. There's other stuff with toxic people. Takes you away from that. You got to shift your attention towards your personal and professional goals, which can naturally lead to less interaction with non-productive people. I'm too busy to sit up in your face and whisper it. People, there you go, right there. Remember what I told you about him? And so. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear? Like I say, that word, hear and heard. Gossips can't talk to you without using the word heard. Take it out of their vocabulary. It'll be very hard to be a gossip. Yeah, hear or heard, same family. Oh, you know what I heard? I heard that this person this way. Oh, I heard this and I heard that and I heard. Man, make you want to smack on the face. Tell me something you heard. I'm not saying it's a bad word because you can hear good things. You know, I heard there's a great sale down at Home Depot or Lowe's, where they had these so-and-so things on sale that I know you're interested in. You know, I didn't have enough money. I would have picked some up for you because I know you're interested in that. Then heard is a good word. But when these people who are always bringing you the crap talk, come with, I heard. They say they heard, but they can't conclusively say. So they spreading something they're not too sure. I heard it here. I don't know. You always have that little disclaimer. I don't know how true it is or not. Then shut up then. If you don't know how true it is or not, it might be partially true, right? And you go spread half truth with half lie. Yeah, I saw him. He had all them different women coming up inside his house. He had some dudes. You don't know my life. You don't know my business. Stay out of it. You got things called monitoring spirits that stay paid by the government or other governments, or they just in their spirit want to monitor you. And they do it so easy online. And when they have a chance to do it in real life, they peeping and looking and coming to conclusions that ain't even true. Let me tell you something. Half of the people who follow me, it fluctuates. Maybe more men than women. There's some people, there's some times when I'll check my stats, it's more women than men. I know a lot of women. If you see me in the street talking to one, doesn't mean I'm screwing them. I'm speaking to certain people specifically. So if that's the case, and I'm now in the motherland and talking to someone, I may make a comment in a chat room, you know, in another show. But listen, reach out to me. I gotta talk to you about something. Ooh, ooh, what he won't talk to her about. So is my dick that long to go all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to go screw somebody over in the west side, you know, in California on the West Coast? But that's your mind. So I guess I must be LGBTQ because I talk to a lot of men too. So am I going to live my life scared of what you're going to say? No, I'm going to forge forward even more and give you more to say. But you sit there with your non-productive ass watching me off your porch with your hocus pocus assessments. But you're not supposed to live your life scared of what people are going to say. Let me tell you something. If I love doing graphics, if I love doing editing, if I'm getting into the audio now more, I want to learn about that. I got equipment that's sitting around that I can use that I haven't used in a long time. Like, man, you ain't using that, man. Man, you can set up a studio with that, which I'm doing. And the dude happened to be gay. Not the kind where you don't know he gay, but he talks a little funny. You know, Lance, I'm going to come over later on. I have some things I want to show you. You have phenomenal equipment, and I want to show you how to use your equipment even better. Somebody hearing that, what are you talking about equipment, man? You know what? I heard him. The homo said he gonna go over there and play with his dick. That's what you heard because your mind is in the gutter. If this person has a love for something that I want to learn and I want to learn it, I don't care who it is. I ain't gonna be afraid to be around who I'm gonna be around. Just because you look at this chick's ass and her titties and her little waistline, does that mean I'm trying to? She might be so intellectually proficient in something I'm trying to learn. I can't get around her because. Then who the hell can I get around? You're gonna have something to say. What you going? If I get a dog to be on my property, I think that nigga into bestiality. You can't win. You can't win with these people. So you got to keep a strong support network around you. And you got to focus on your goals. Like it said, shift your attention toward personal and professional goals, which can naturally lead to less interaction with non-productive people. And I'm going to say it will lead to more interaction with productive people, because people who are truly go-getters, producing, manifesting, they're not going to say, well, you know, we're going too fast with our goals. We need to find a couple of do-nothing gossips to hang around. No. Millionaires hang with millionaires. Billionaires hang with billionaires. Half of them are crooks. We know that. But a billionaire might have 2 or 3 million cash sitting up on his coffee table. And the billionaires come over to hang out. Chances are they ain't going to touch that money. They talk about concepts beyond the small-mindedness of toxic black people. That's where I want to go. So don't get mad when you see me interviewing white people on this channel that have information that can ascend me, that their mind is so much into that, they ain't think about nothing. They don't even think about, oh, that's a nigger and I'm not going to talk to him. Well, I don't want them kind. I'm not going to kiss up to nobody. I don't care who you are. If you black and you a coon, I don't want you. If you're a person who's moving towards something, no matter what color you are, no matter what sexual preference you are, if you got something for me that can help me, and you sharing this and I can share it with you, I can get the information and I tell you who brought it. This is a lot of people I'm talking to right now. It's going to be a whole different level because I've broken free from the petty niggardness. There's too many of them around, cultivated and intelligent, but they still acting niggardly behind closed doors. Well, let me tell you the real deal, what he did to me, and so and so and so. Well, go ahead with that and watch me fly. Because like I said, I've spent a lot of time in my life, and really the last half of my life, what my life has been so far, working jobs, wanting to do something, wanting to have something of my own, being through past bad relationships. artwork I did just ripped up, things you'll never see, computers broken, toxic, dysfunctional stuff. I said, oh boy, the day's gonna come where I'll be free of all of this stuff. And just the normal stuff we gotta deal with. We're not even talking anything really dysfunctional. It's there. We gotta pay our bills. We gotta concern ourselves about keeping a job. We gotta pay for the, mortgage if you have one. The normal things, and we got more monkeys on our back, and then we got toxic black people on the right. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to even look at you if you like this. You do not exist to me, and you're dead. This is how serious I take my life. If you don't take your life that serious, put it away and be on your deathbed regretting what you didn't do. I've piddled away a lot of time in my life, yes, but I've learned a lot, and that's the only good thing about it. Because see, some people don't learn from the crap they've been through. Whether it's something that they did, a bad decision, I take full accountability for all the things that I've been through that I would say, oh man, I wish I didn't do that. I wasted kind of time. But at least I still learn. This way I don't need no script in front of a daggone microphone right now as I'm going through my phone. That's why the audio don't sound the same way. Let me read this and let me, whatever. No, we can sit here and rap. This is coming from the heart. Because I have the experience. All doctors, when they're about to operate, follow protocol. They ain't gonna say, well, I'm gonna roll up in there with no face mask and no gloves. Because I'm good that way. The germs ain't gonna mess with me. I'm down with the germs and they stay away. No, you do open heart surgery and you don't have that stuff. And he's sneezing and coughing, itching his behind. I mean, not just itching from putting his hand down in the underwear and scratching the cheeks. And he gonna touch you and seal you back up. And you think you're going to be all right? So what does that tell you? When you open up to people, stuff can get in and you walk away with something. I had a situation back in 1994 in August, and I hit this guy. I was justified in doing so. I knocked out a couple of his teeth, and when I hit him, it was like a spray, like somebody took a paintbrush with red paint and flicked it on the wall. I was justified. I was at my own home. Long story. I told it before. But I went to the hospital that night. A friend of mine is like, Lance, man, this is his tooth cut deep. And y'all see my hands before on my knuckle, the finger next to the thumb. It's a big, long scar there. And so I finally went in because it was starting to pain me more. A lot of blood was coming out. And so they cleaned it out and they stitched it up. But they stitched it up and didn't really clean it out the way they should have. So I'm home. That was Sunday. I'm home on Monday. Tuesday, my hand was hurting so bad. It was like my heart was in my hand. Boom, 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 boom. It was hurting. I woke up Wednesday. My hand was hurting so much, I ain't gonna lie. I started crying. Oh, so much pain. It's like somebody stuck a knife in both my eyes to the back of my brain. A friend was like, listen, I'll tell you what it is. They didn't clean that thing up good enough. I said, you think that's what it is? They cleaned it out? No, you need to go back there and have them reopen that bad boy. And when I did go back, they realized, and that, I could have had a lawsuit and didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. But I had to stay in the hospital for a week with an IV in my arm because the infection that came from his nasty mouth was inside my hand and was going up my arm. And by the time I got to the hospital, it didn't happen right away. It had already started going up my arm. It was at my shoulder. And they panicked. They said, we got to open this thing up, clean it up, and get some stuff in you to combat the infection that's going up your arm to your shoulder and eventually your heart. Because if this thing hits your heart, there's nothing we can do for you. I went there thinking it was going to be a little procedure. I didn't know I was going to be walking around in there in a hospital room with an IV, with antibiotics in there, walk around with that little robe with your ass out. You had one hand down, you're talking to people who stand up against the wall. And I ain't got no shame anyway, but it's like, I thought I was going home. I stayed there for a week. just because I hit this guy, which was justified. This time it was justified. I don't just walk up to people and hit people. I knocked his ass out for about 5 seconds. He got up and ran out. Okay, tell the full story. Be like, man, you should have threw him out the window. I should have. Then I would have been locked up with an infection. And you know, in jail and in prison, they got nurses and they got doctors there, but if they don't like you, they'll write you off. He'll die in 2 hours anyway. Let's just alter the paperwork because he's a prick. That's LANCESCURV. He's a hater. Right? But who you open yourself up to, whether it's open heart surgery or you have an open wound, be careful who touches that open part of you, because you'll internalize these things and that'll become a part of you. Right? That's the way it is. And you got to be able to prioritize self-care. You have to invest time in self-care and stress management to strengthen your resilience against negative influences. You need time to meditate. You need time to eat your food without these people up in your face. Eat your food and treat it the way you do when you go to church. And this is a sacred thing, right? See, the mistake I see people make, they'll eat around everybody, talk all kind of stuff, and you're messing with the proper digestion of your food. And you wonder why you're upset in your stomach. And the thing is that you have to understand, and I'm not some nutritionist, but you might as well say I'm damn near all the years of bodybuilding and studying food and everything. I know a lot about food. I know a lot about the body, right? I know a lot about my body, especially. I know. I get in the gym in a year's time, you're going to swear I'm on steroids because I know exactly what to do. You never forget how to ride a bike. But isn't it funny how we can plop down and eat with all kind of people, talking negative stuff, talking gossip, talking foolishness, which is going to not allow you to digest your food properly, because it's not what you eat. It's not what you eat. It's what you absorb. It's what you digest. So out of the 100% of the food you put down, some of us absorb 15% of it. Some of us absorb 90% of it. There's a part of the digestion that you have to do that you need to be away from people. All of your blood is going into your stomach, your digestion. You got to enjoy the food. You have to think good things because you're putting something in you. Open heart surgery, they touch you with dirty hands, you're going to die. You're going to be infected. The food has to be good, but the environment has to be good also. And who touches the food? If they're hateful, there's a spirit. That's why they say, make the food with love. I don't want nobody preparing food for me that wishes I didn't live. Oh, yeah, take the food. No, I'm not eating from you. Don't bring me no food. I'm not going to say everybody here. I'm just saying in general, you just can't accept that. And I find it funny, and it should be backwards, right? We don't have no problem sitting around a bunch of strangers eating food. I'm probably going to do it again one day in this life. I'm living in a way that's very much like a monk. That's why I can run my mouth so long and for so many hours, right? We've been on the stream for 2 hours and 35 minutes, and you all know if I had to, I can go another 10 hours. It ain't no problem. I soon have things to do, and I will do them. But the bottom line is that, why is it that some of us take more time to be private when the food is coming out our anus as opposed to when we're putting it in? We ain't got no problem being around all kind of people putting it in. But when we go, oh man, we will go to the point where we will crap on ourselves so people don't see that we have to go to the bathroom, and all of us go to the bathroom. Some of y'all listen to the show right now, and you're sitting on the toilet. You ain't got no mic, but I don't want to hear what's going on in that room, right? But we more worried. I don't want them to see me take a dump. It's private. But where we eat is public, and that's where the most damage is happening. So I have no problem with isolating myself when I'm eating as much as I can, being in a good state of mind, being peaceful, thinking positive thoughts. And I ain't got no problem if it had to be switched around. Oh, that's crazy, man. He done yanked his pants down and took a dump. I saw it all. That nigga was chopping off pieces. Yeah, but I'm done with the food by now. I'm done with it. That doesn't have no effect on me because you're going to go within a few hours, if not within 5 minutes, and do the same damn thing. We're more concerned about where we are and who's around us when we take a dump, but we don't care who makes our food, what kind of food we eat, the spirit of the person preparing the food. Culinary soul ties. Culinary soul ties. We think soul ties just come from sex. It does. We can have emotional soul ties. It don't even have to be sexual. It could be the same sex of people who ain't gay. They working a soul tie on you and have an effect on you in your personal life and in your home life, and that's their purpose. So when one sees this operating, you got to call it out. I want you to be scared of me, because every time I see you, I'm going to call it out. If you cross that line, you ain't never going to feel comfortable, because I know what's inside of you. So you're always going to run when you see me, because you know your intentions ain't worth a damn. And you got to claim your life this way, because you won't get anything done, because you'll have these spiritual and mental soul ties that are speed bumps. Some people can be speed bumps. How many times have you gotten up with enthusiasm for the day and you feeling real good and you riding a wave of enthusiasm, and somebody comes to you and says a few words and it kills your spirit? Well, you know, every boxing match you get into, we've seen boxing matches where some of the people who are champions, they fought an excellent fight, an excellent game plan. And after the fight, they didn't even get a mark. And the other guy's busted up. We have some fights where the winner looks like the loser. His face is all lumped up. You turn the TV on, damn, he looked like he lost. What you mean he won? Right? So the main thing in this world is, like Floyd Mayweather was said, and many other great boxers before him, because it wasn't just him. Some may think that he made this up, but it's about boxing is about hitting and not getting hit. Hitting and not getting hit. And so that's what it is in this world. You don't want to get hit, but you want to hit. And I don't mean violently, I don't mean negatively, but you want to hit those goals that you set for yourself. And if you're a person who's going to get in my way, I'm going to steamroll you, and I'm still going to reach those goals. There's certain times where I've allowed, I'm human, I've allowed someone who I formerly trusted to get into my mind and say some things and drop some, not seeds of doubt, because I know I don't doubt. I'm not bragging, I don't doubt. My mind is sharp. When I know what it is that I have to do, I don't doubt my capabilities. I'm a monster that way. Like last night, right? I promised to do this show for me last night. We're 5 hours different. So right now for me it's 1:41, almost 2. So the 8 hours difference of the West Coast, right? It's almost 6 in the morning. But I said I was going to do the show after the Neil Frazier show, right? But I said to myself, after having to do certain graphics and different things, I said, you know what? I want to give it my all. I want to be able to talk as loud as I want in the daytime. It will flow better. I'm not at the end of my day. I'm really at the beginning of my day, a couple hours in. And what a very intense day it's going to be. So I said, let me just make this link so you all can see that I made the show. And even when I woke up, and we're talking my time now, I made the show for 10 a.m. for me. And I woke up at 9:46. I was like, God, dog, I want to be in the same flow. I need an extra hour. So some of you may have noticed that I went from the time I said to the next hour, which I don't want to say because there's so many different time zones, right? That's what it is. So we have to learn to adjust things to keep ourselves centered. You're driving the vehicle of you through this life. So you got to be careful and be mindful and prioritize self-care, you know, which means to be mindful of the energy drainers. Recognize people who consistently drain your energy and limit your exposure to them. How many times you've gotten around, even a phone call. See, once you identify the energy drainers, here they come. I've seen it. There have been times I had shows set up, and there are people I haven't spoke to in years. You say something? Oh, I thought you said something. There are people that I haven't spoken to in years, right? In a minute, I'm 20 seconds from hitting that go live button. How did they know? This is a spiritual thing. And these were confirmed, certified energy drainers that I wouldn't mind talking to because I know how far to keep them away from me. It may be somebody who's related to a close friend, where they may not be the close friend. I need something to drink. My throat's going in. But I'll talk to them because of their positioning, but I'm not going to let them all the way in because I know how they live. I ain't got time to go drinking with you, bro. I ain't got time to sit. And then when we drink, we're going to sit around and talk about doing. Huh? I got stuff to do, right? So you got to be aware of these people who drain your energy. And sometimes, and I know you've experienced this, you see this person coming and you say, oh, God, thank you. You see this person coming, say, oh, God, because you know they're going to try to take you off your path. You're in a good mindset. You got a good focus, and here they come. Now it's a battle. And it's almost like they can see you have a righteous momentum going somewhere. I don't mean just going somewhere to a physical geographical location. I mean going somewhere in your own personal ascension, and you're partially in the zone. And they want to pull you out of that. That's the spirit, man. That's the demon. Let's just call it a demon. Because maggots go for the garbage, flies. Well, and here they come. You ain't garbage, but they want to bring you garbage. Let me take a sip of this liquid, y'all. Give me a second. Let me check my other screen. I got a bunch of screens here. Okay, I just want to make sure the audio is coming through on the phone because I don't have the chat room open on my phone. So we'll continue. But these people, when they're certified energy drainers, guess what? The sight of them makes you release some adrenaline inside. You know, when you're a kid and that bell rings, 3 o'clock, time to go home, but it's a Friday. Now, you know, ding, ding, ding. Oh, yeah, the weekend is here. You feel that bit of adrenaline and you want to run out of there. You don't really run into school on Monday in the morning. Oh, I got a whole week, or even the job. But you ride the clock and you look, oh man, it's almost time to go. And you have enthusiasm, and here they come. And they are there to block you with a smile on their face. And you got to learn to say no. Be comfortable saying no to invitations, requests, or commitments that don't align with your goals or values. There are some things you can't get away from. You want to show respect for those who have transitioned, but it might be a rotten person that everybody thinks is great and you don't really want to go. You pass through. I understand that. There's that family member you don't get along with, but they're going to be there at the same family get together. You don't want to be there because you don't want to see them. You're not scared of them. You already know what they are because, like I say, DNA sharers. That's all it could be with some people who are family and other people who don't know. But that's family. You need to. I need to talk to the both of y'all and get y'all back talking again. No, doesn't mean. Look, you can be family to me, as many of you are here, and we don't share the exact DNA. If you trace it back in our bloodline, we might be related. I'm quite sure it is that way. You never know. It's a funny story. Got a good friend of mine who moved to another city, and he met this girl, young lady, and they became romantically involved, which you know was a lot more than just holding hands and singing love songs. And they were getting it. They were getting it good. They were down in it, getting it good. I'll say it that way without saying anything nasty. They were tearing it up there every chance they get it. Crotch sauce flying all over the place. That's as crazy as I'll say it. And then one day, they were in a supermarket. And he was with his mother and a distant aunt. And it hit him because there's the young lady that he was secretly involved with. They didn't have no reason to be secret, but they were just kind of, you know, people don't put their business out in the street like that, especially when it's a place where gossip and everybody's looking for stuff. All of a sudden, the aunt, the distant aunt that they really didn't know, said, oh, here comes my baby. Wait a second. That's my mother's sister, and she's calling her baby, but I've been screwing this woman? So hold on, wait a second. What you mean, baby? That's your friend? No, that's my daughter. Oh my God, that's my cousin. And he's a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown. He was shocked. She didn't know it, and he didn't know it. Nice guy. I can depend on it on my I can put my life in his hands. But he was like, I know I'm grimy, Lance. You know what? That night we were back at it again. I didn't care. It was too good. I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying, you got to be careful out here, man. Be careful who's around you. Know who you're dealing with, not just on a sexual level. I just wanted to say that as a joke, and it was real, the real story. They went on for about a year after that. It only stopped because one person moved away. That's not a good situation. But you just have to know who's around you, especially the energy drainers. I wouldn't say that that was an energy drainer situation. It was just unfortunate, right? You got to learn to say no, you know? And you got to seek professional guidance if you're dealing with a certain particular toxic situation or something of manipulation. You got even a friend can't always help you sometimes because they're emotionally invested. You're going to have to sometimes get professional help, a counselor, a therapist, or whatever, who's neutral to the situation. And get one that looks like you. Because you ain't getting no old white man that's going to deal with toxic black situations. Because they don't understand us anyway. They're amused by us. Let me tell you something. Them hits on them YouTube videos that you see where the black woman is going against the black man and the black man is going against the black woman and the LGB is saying, you know, the LGBTQ, they're saying one thing and they're against this and FBA and ADOS and indigenous and look, black folks rolling around the dirt with all this stuff. And like I said, at the very beginning of this show, that we got nukes that can launch, chemical warfare, bio warfare. I'm not a fearmonger, and it's not our fight. We didn't start it, but we will feel the results of it if we don't take our mind off of what we're focusing on, the gossip blogs and the videos, and this one was caught with that one, and this one, oh man, is Will Smith really gay? And how many people did Jada screw around with? But didn't they say they were swingers back in the day? So, who cares? I would never say I'm broke. I'm not trying to claim that, but I need to get a little more something going on so I can get faster what I need to get done. And Negroes are thinking about the things that don't look. The 16th most powerful country we could be, just those in America, black people with the $1 trillion plus that they spend. And you worried about that? That's like somebody, and I'm not throwing off on anybody who lives in what we call the hood. But we got some toxic people there. We have some beautiful people there. I know both ends of it in what we call the hood. Don't be mad that I'm calling that because y'all call it that too, right? It doesn't mean the people that are there are any less. But when you toxic and in the hood, oh man, and you have somebody that does good moves out, doesn't mean that they have to move out and kind of coons. Well, I live in an all-white neighborhood now, and they don't even want you there. I'm not talking about that. But you move somewhere else because you can. I experienced this moving to Africa. All the Negroes that rah me when I came out here. I didn't say rob. I said rah, like, you know, cheer you on when you came for a visit. When they found out that I moved here for good, how the hell he do that? Or who he think he is? Or he got a lot of money. I wish I did. Excuse me. I worked hard all my life. In 40 more years, I'm 100 years old. And I do feel that I'll make it there. Whether I do or don't, I worked hard all my life. There is a thing called the system. There's a thing called a pension. There's a thing called working your ass off on the books and off the books. You know how much stuff I did off the books to aid, to not have to touch my check? Okay, I take this little $60, this little $100 I got this week from bouncing in the club. I don't care about the IRS. Are you gonna listen to this? Well, what happened? You didn't pay tax? I don't care. Y'all got other things to worry about, Mr. Government, with that Joe Biden you got over there. Not to get political, but that's what it is. Don't worry about me. You're gonna make me pay tax for the mango I go in the backyard and pick, or the papaya. I'm gonna pick 4 or 5 papayas and eat them, and ain't nobody, I ain't to buy it. Huh? The other stuff we growing. You mad at that? I'm not saying you, I'm saying the government. And some of the people are mad at that. But when I was saying it and planning it, and people were saying I was crazy, people leaving comments, oh, that nigga don't even have money to get a ticket. And now they're mad, wait, he's still out there? 30 people I know came out here and turned around and go back. They didn't plan right. It's unfortunate. I don't take joy in anybody maybe failing. But the bottom line is, it's our life. We got to do what we need to do for ourselves. It's nice when you get help, but you have everything inside you needed to propel yourself to the next level. When you see a seed, the seed can just chill out and don't even need water. Oh man, them seeds are 10 years old. I don't know if they still going. Yes, they are. You put a little water on them, a little soil, and put them in and let the sun heat up and warm the earth around it. You're going to have something growing. So lots of times we walk around in this toxic world that's very dysfunctional while we have the seeds of greatness that we're not trying to cultivate. And we wonder why we don't get nowhere. You understand? We're brilliant, but we don't get nowhere. We're treading water. We don't want to come out of that comfort zone, the comfort zone of niggerism, the comfort zone of gossip, the comfort zone of DM. You heard this and you heard that. Well, you going with your herding self because I got plans for today, tomorrow, next week, that if my Creator keeps me here, I am going to get there. Sometimes it gets delayed, but there's nothing around me to delay it. I'm probably going to get there faster. You've been on a plane before, and you're supposed to get there. It's 12 noon when you leave, and they say you're supposed to get there by 2 o'clock. And you get there at 1:40. The winds help to push us, and we've gotten here a little early. You're like, whoa. And sometimes, I remember I was on a flight, forgot where I was coming from, but I was coming back down to Florida. And it was a bad storm in Orlando. So they were considering flying down to Miami to land. And then there was a storm down there. So we had to circle around, I think, for 2 hours in the air before we were able to land. And they were going to say, well, maybe we can land in Jacksonville or maybe Atlanta. The whole region had a bad storm. It wasn't a good feeling. It felt like I flew all the way to Africa. It was so long, right? But these things will happen. And you have to be prepared on all fronts. So you have to be full, like a cup that's topped off. If you know you're going to drink a whole lot of Kool-Aid, orange juice, water, do you put the cup, fill the cup up 1/10 of the way? You know what it is that you have to do. I don't drive from New York to California and start out with a quarter tank of gas. Well, we just put a little bit in. No, ain't a little bit, nothing. Top it off. Top it off. Because I'm going to have to top it off 50 million times before I get to my destination. Right? Right. And then, because we live in a social media world, you may have to remove or block somebody on social media. And I've learned to appreciate that remove and block. This is my world. I'm going to control it. I'm not going to allow you or somebody who's behind you who really peeping on me and using you like a marionette puppet to look into my world. I'm cutting all y'all off. Because if you friends with an enemy, you ain't no friend. You the enemy too. If you friends with an enemy of mine, and I'll keep you limited if you are. I might not even cut you off. Huh? You got to do that. Because a person doesn't have to be around you to bring their toxicity into your world. We can do it on social media now. People make up different profiles. You block them and they determine for what? You don't know how long you're going to live. I'm going, he blocked me and I'm going to come back with this other one. And I find out I blocked that one too. You got to protect your sanity. You got to protect your peace of mind. How many people walk up to you and say, hey, hey, how you doing? Good for you. So you have peace of mind. Not that it's only coming from monetary aid. But nobody walks up to do that. You have to decide what brings you to that place. It might not be money. It might be the spending of time under the sun, not caught up in other people's energies. Fill your cup up. We walk around thirsty because we're filling up everybody else's cup. And we have nothing left to drink. It works that way too. Now, when you deal with positive people, we have the saying that, I'm hearing some noise, sweetheart. That's right, the door? No, I just heard some noise. It might be. I don't think so. I don't think so. But anyway, excuse me for that. The other saying goes that your candle can light 1,000 candles with your flame and not diminish your flame. That is when you invest in good, positive people who are hell-bent on their progress. Think of these companies, these big companies that have the CEOs and all the people, the hierarchy, and they're sitting around making a decision. You think they're sitting around being nice? They're very determined to push their idea and do what's best for the company. If they invest in millions of dollars to make a certain ad, they want the company that they had to make the ad. They got to pop Dixie, man. They better come with something. If they don't like it, you ain't gonna get that money. So you gotta be good at what you do. That's the problem with us. We go on other people's jobs, and I'll say it the old school way, we go on a white man's job and bust our behind. When it comes time to working for someone who looks like us, or even doing our own business, we lack. We got to be relentless, man, because the statistics are against us. So you don't need no toxic people on board with you. You got to run hard. You want the best. You want to be the best. You want to be the best version of yourself. I don't want to be the 1983 version of LANCESCURV. I'll take the body he had because I had a hell of a body. But even then, it's not about just the body, because I can get that back, and I'm gonna get that back. I'm out here. What you think? And don't say I'm on steroids. But you want to be the best version that you can be. Even if you get to a certain age where you can't keep up with what you were in the past physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, you can have a tight game. The best CEOs of companies in their late 80s and early 90s. I read an article, and it gave examples. And they really are the best because they have the wherewithal over time to know what it is. I've been on social media a long time. I ain't been on there 50 years, wasn't around for 50 years. But I can smell a rat. I can smell when it's not good to do something in a certain style or repackage yourself, present yourself a different way. I can see when it's time to do that, to move on, because everything changes. Nothing stays the same. And while it's nice to romanticize about the past and say, I remember when this, and I lived in this house, and I remember this. Yeah, but it's not going to stay the same. And I got a personal saying, I haven't said it in a long time. I've been saying this from the middle 80s. This is my saying. If you hear anybody say it, they got it from me. Maybe they say it in a different way and they didn't know mine, but this is what I've said. It's better to initiate change than let change initiate you. Put a little dash and put LANCESCURV after that. It's better to initiate change than let change initiate you. Change is coming. It's best to have a say-so in the change that comes at you by changing. So when that desire for the universe to change things for you come, you ain't there because you changed already. So they say, okay, we're going to leave him alone because he changed things, but now you had a say-so in how you did it because you were proactive in how you wanted to make a change. Not where something was initiating you in something you didn't want to have changed, or you changed into something that you didn't want. You have first choice. Keep on changing. Don't mean like, oh, I just finished building this house, so I'm going to move out of here and go build it up. No, you can live in a house for 25 years. You can live in a house for the rest of your life. If that's your dream home, you can buy more than one. I'm always one for progress and moving on, but you have to initiate change in your life. That's sensible anyway, because you're going to get stagnant. And guess what? Toxic black folk don't want to initiate no change. I'm not saying it's bad to be in the same neighborhood. I've been in this neighborhood for 25 years. I grew up here. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. But you better have an expanded mindset. You better not have a local mindset. I remember all the stuff in my old neighborhood. I had a wonderful childhood. My particular block that I live on, man, if Tyler Perry found out, I'm not saying we all have problems with him sometime. I'm just saying, though, if he was a know the experiences I had in that block, man, he'd make so many movies and make so much money. But you have to acknowledge that black men are good. I have to stick that one in there. He may not want to do it because he had a lot of good black men back in then, and black women, families, community, till crack came around and messed it up. But other than that, that's what it was. You got to evaluate your work environment. Assess your workplace and colleagues to determine if there are toxic elements that can be addressed or avoided. Okay, we like the choice of not having to go to that place, but we got bills. We're not where we want to be yet. I'm not saying that some people got it going on, and you would never know. They driving that same old putt-putt vehicle, whatever, and they wake up and they don't have to answer to a damn soul. But for most of us, you got to go to that place until we plan our way off the plantation, right? We got to do it that way. So we got to evaluate your work environment, because how many of us get up in the morning, oh, damn, I don't want to go to that place. And the more you get closer to the job, the more you feel it in your body. And emotions and the physicality of us, I can't prove it. But if we're off emotionally, it's going to affect us, maybe and eventually bring us into some kind of sickness. There's so many things around us that we are not acknowledging. It's not by chance when you feel good. It's not by chance when you feel bad. You feel bad for a reason. You feel good for a reason. Find out those reasons of the good and replicate them. Find out the reasons for the bad and stay away from them. You might have to go to work one day and you feel bad because you had to get up and go with an ambulance to it with a child who was really sick. You can't get away from that. So you feel tired. So you're there for a reason. And you feel that way for a reason. But for no reason, you can't pinpoint why you feel bad. You need to do some serious evaluation on how you live your life. I'm at a point now where I know myself. I love privacy. That's freedom to me. I don't want people all over my face all the time who feel that we must be together as one. No, I don't know you. I'm not saying anybody here. I'm cool with a lot of people here. But you didn't choose that. I didn't choose this for me. People insert themselves in your life and feel insulted when you don't want to be bothered with them, because y'all got different spirits. Allow me to do what it is I need to do at this point in my life, because I lived a good amount of time on this earth and I still have my faculties. I know what it is that I like and I know what it is I don't like. Don't push nothing on me I don't like, and don't put people and push people on me that I don't like. It's just like that. Sometimes you don't like people. Sometimes you love them. They can be rotten in real life, but I just love them. You tell a mother whose son got locked up, who's been terrorizing the neighborhood, terrorizing the community, a rap sheet just as long as if you rolled out toilet paper. I remember when I was a little kid, I rolled out toilet paper all over the house. The whole place was white. Right? But the minute they get locked up and the judge says, I sentence you to 10 years, what's the first thing out of that black mother's mouth? My baby! As big and strong as he is, got about 14 kids all over the city. It's about your baby, but that's what he is to her. So we can't take people because we feel this way about them. What are they really? What effect are they going to have in your life? I'm big on that. If I can't affect you in a good way, where I give a conversation to inspire you, when you see me coming, you say, man, this guy's always on point. He runs his mouth a lot, but he got something to say. I'm like, and you ain't saying nothing. And the person who says something, you don't want to hear what he got to say because it makes you look stupid, because you are stupid. Give credit where credit's due and say it like it is. That's the problem with us. We're in too much denial and we're too polite. And the older I get, you're going to hear more. You're going to love these shows because I'm just like this now. Something done got in the skirt. I wonder what's good on with. No, you're not wrong. I just don't have the time to waste. And I still have great goals that I am going to accomplish, and I ain't saying it. Because some of y'all going to do your little hocus pocus. Keep Lance from his goals. Keep Lance from his goals. Keep Lance from his goals. You ain't doing that. I'm smashing you. See, because I already have it in me already. I am built like the seed that has everything inside of it already. I don't need nothing else except to be connected to nature to activate my greatness. I don't need to do this and do that and do this and do that. No. My creator made me complete. And I realize who I am. And I've always realized different parts of me, but now I can put it all together. Ain't no cockiness, it's confidence. And a relentless drive to not be stopped. Because when it's time for me to leave the store of this life, ain't nothing gonna go beeping off like I shoplifted. I can pass on through with peace of mind. I want to be able to, if I have the luxury of a transition bed, some of us evil people gonna have a deathbed, but I want to have a transition bed. So I'm trying to correct myself now. I can look back and reminisce on all the things that I accomplished, whether the world acknowledged it or not. And that's another thing we got a problem with. We want acknowledgement from the world. This world ain't gonna matter. Like the video went viral recently. Several different people made it. 100 years from now, ain't nobody gonna know you. Ain't nobody gonna know you. You mentioned Muhammad Ali 100 years from now. People will know because of technology if it's still around. But I know there's going to be a great reset and things might be lost. Oh, yeah, Muhammad Ali, he was a great hockey player, wasn't he? Were his parents European? They ain't going to remember. So why are we so focused on worldly acknowledgement from toxic people who don't want to give it to us anyway? Just do what it is from the inside. Throw it out of you, make it happen, and move on. But I want to be able to lay there, if I have time, as I begin to leave this level, with whoever it is in my inner circle, whether they're DNA sharers or not, or people I just met, and say, hey, it was a hell of a ride. Maybe I left this earth, or leaving this earth, a little better off for what I did in my past, than as if I wasn't here and nothing at all. Because even when you do things, we use inventions and we don't know who invented it. They dead and gone, and we're using their invention and don't know who made it. So you talking about a YouTube page? Are you serious? You talking about a website? Are you serious? How long is my website going to stay up after I pass on? People who love me will keep it up. After a while, like, we gotta let this go. This is too expensive. And all the work is gone. I know that. But those who are vibrating with me may get a feeling, or somebody will see something for a little time that's younger and take a little piece of what I put out there, not even knowing what I do. There are people who don't even know I came online as an artist. I'm going back to that. I don't care about YouTube hits. I don't care about this stuff. I want to go back to the peace of mind. I can go out on my balcony in the sun and play my little music. I may use a computer to look at some visuals and just draw, let the day go by, and only come in when it gets dark. Come in to get some heat and go right on back out there in the dark and doze off. Organic. I don't care. Like me, follow me. Half the people that hit the like button may not even like you. Half the people who follow you, you don't even know. Because they don't want to even let you know that they follow you. I don't want that nigga to know them. Crazy, this world. The online world makes it worse. This is why we have some crazy people out here who are having nervous breakdowns, worrying over something that is not important. It does nothing for you at the end of the day. Even the money in your very pocket can collapse any day now and mean nothing. And you go to an empty supermarket. And what you gonna do? There's so many things we have to concern ourselves with in this world. And this is something that I had to learn to do. Keep personal information private. Be cautious about sharing personal details with individuals who may use them against you. Not necessarily against you, but they get mad with your progress when you tell them what you're doing. Oh, that's nice. Praise the Lord. I'm so happy for you. That damn nigga, who he think he is. I hope he failed. This is why I don't give out much these days. Huh? I ain't gonna do it. Even when you send somebody else to try to play Bill and get something out of me. I got connections right now out here in different places in the world. And since I'm here, I will say this. I want to travel. That's not telling too much. I ain't gonna say where, how, whatever. I'm not gonna say when. We all do. We all have things we want to do in general. So that's not a bad statement to say. But I'm not gonna be as transparent until sometimes after the fact. Oh yeah, he was out there walking amongst the pyramids, but he didn't tell us why didn't you go live. No, I might do that and not say it for another 3 years. Oh, this is what I did 3 years ago. He was in Kenya, Gambia. He was in Egypt. He was in South Africa. He got friends out there. He was chilling with them. I ain't telling. I gotta treat my situation with anybody like it's a secret lover. Secret lover. That's what we are. Too many nosy people online. And when they find out what you were doing, they keep going on and hating so much because the hate is real. So real. The hate is real. But like Muhammad Ali said, you can't hit what you can't see. If I move out the way real quick and you throw a blow, but I move out the way, you just swing in the air. You got to keep your personal information private. I used to be so trusting. Oh, when you come out, don't know you're from Jack, you can come stay by the house. Then you get on my computer and want to mess up everything in my computer and damage stuff that's there and take information. I thought you went to bed. It's 3:30 in the morning. Oh, you left your computer on and I just had, no, what's going on? And you go in and you check your computer and everything's rearranged. They done lifted stuff. Who knows what they put on there? They could have came in your room and chopped you up and you being nice. No, it ain't gonna happen like that. Last thing I want to say, celebrate successes privately. Be cautious about sharing your achievements with those who may try to downplay them or undermine your success. You can tell when somebody's downplaying something. Well, you can downplay what I achieved, but guess what? I'm achieving more. So keep on downplaying and understand you're wasting your time. And they will try to undermine you. I don't want to walk around in a paranoid state of mind, but this world the way it is, you better be on point with something. The egg in nature, look at nature. Look at the egg. You break the egg, what's on the inside? All the soft yolk and the other parts of it there. But the egg in nature has a hard shell on it to protect the soft insides. For a reason. So anything delicate and sensitive and easy to destroy has something protecting it. You know when you see the president come out, they got the Secret Service and all these people around them. Kings and queens and dignitaries, and they got the security around them. Bulletproof vehicles, all that stuff, because they're precious, or supposed to be. Well, you know I feel different about that. They're so paranoid from all the hell they raise all over the world. That's not even a righteous thing they're doing. But you celebrate your successes privately. If I achieve something now, you're going to find out about it after. My inner circle will know about it. And my inner circle is real tight right now. My inner circle is so tight. I moved the wrong way when I was in the bed and I started choking because around my neck, the inner circle is so tight, like a choker. And you must look to keep upgrading what's around you, because everybody that's around you is not always for you. But on that note, I want to wrap it down. I'm on the phone. I'm sitting, I keep forgetting that I'm not on the computer, but I have it up on the screen where I can see the chat room. And so many people have passed through in these last 3 hours and 16 minutes since I started talking, but I wanted to give a little extra time because we had the little technical difficulties. So when you hear this as an upload, then you know that, well, he went through that, but he kept on going because nothing's going to stop me. I'm determined. You know, I am determined. If I set my mind to do something righteously, go on and try to stop me. I'm going to do it. I may say I'm going to do something and, you know, fool you. You're waiting on one road to sabotage me. I'm way going somewhere else. You got to know how to be shifty righteously in a shifty world. The toxic people, you know, what can I say? I still haven't covered trash culture. Let's go another 3 hours. No, I ain't going to do that. I got something to do. But I'm going to come back with a part 3, which will really be just focused on the trash culture, because toxic Black people and trash culture go together. And I'm going to start out and talk about trash culture. I can't promise it will be later, Maybe it will. Maybe I'll do 10 shows a day. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one more. Right? But between now and tomorrow, I will do that. There's other things I have to do, but I will come on with another show. And if I have the energy to put into this, I'll do it. If not, I'll do something short or get some footage because it's a beautiful day outside. I'm Bill Withers with it. When I wake up in the morning, love. Anyway, just want to say I love you all. Let me take that back. I'll love all of y'all because all y'all don't love me. I love the ones who love me. You love me, I love you. I love you, you love me. If you're tricking me, I'm gonna kick you in the head and get you away from me. That's where you gotta go. Self-preservation, that's not a crime. When you preserve yourself and you think of you first and you say, hey, it doesn't mean money, but you say, what am I getting out of this? What is it edifying that I'm getting out of this? Nothing wrong with that. You should be thinking that way. So if you come onto this show and you hear me talk and you don't get nothing out of it, don't come here no more because I'm wasting your time. But I'm going to speak reality because reality is all I know. I was raised by a set of parents that always taught me reality. Like I said, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, my father brought me around in Washington Heights in Harlem, in Manhattan, and showed me the raw, gritty, real. So I always thought that way. And so when I got to my adolescent years, I wasn't intrigued about anything out there to fall into its pit. I wasn't intrigued about sticking a needle in my arm or smoking something or robbing somebody. I knew that if I wanted something, I had to work hard for it and focus. So these things were put inside of me. I just forgot the memo about staying away from too many girlfriends. That was it. And thank God I'm safe with a healthy bloodstream because I was protected for something, because I know more than anybody else I'm here for a purpose, and you need to know that. And if you don't know you're here for a purpose, you're wasting your time. Find out your purpose, because the most dangerous person in the whole world is a person that doesn't know their purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you're basically screwed, because you're going to waste a lifetime searching and following behind somebody and waiting for some white man to bust through the clouds to help you out. You got it all inside of you. And the bottom line is that you need to know that. You need to know that. And I'm going to end this right now, which is just a temporary pause. Create a will, and we will be back together again. I want to thank you for your time. It's been glorious. I see we've been on here for 3 hours and 19 minutes. I want to go to 4, but I got something to do. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. Scurv out. Peace.